Is your life savings wrapped up in your 401k? Are you worried you're paying too much in fees? Ask for Matt. Matt Westbury of Premier Investments can help you with your 401k planning. Matt's a local guy who will sit down and talk with you about what you want from your retirement and give you simple answers you won't find on a confusing 401k website or at an 800 number. Go to askformatt.com. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream. Welcome back to the Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
And I am Todd.
And today we have Lisa Gillespie with us.
Hello. Nice to be here.
She is a flexibility coach.
I sure am.
We were talking about see if we can get a hold of you and you like just doing like 10 minutes of what you do so we can get an idea of what it is. And does it usually about an hour long?
It usually takes about 75, 90 minutes for that first session.
because she has to like cut out a new piece of leather for you to bite on,
right,
so that
for each,
and get to the fat over your muscles.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's a new treatment I can guarantee you've never had before. So I want to make sure you're comfortable. I want to explain the work. You know, when we talk about soft tissue release, what is that? Well, I'm going to show you what that feels like, what that looks like in your muscles, so you can feel that as I go. So that's what takes the most time for that first session. But I see consecutively where people will come in and that session gets shorter and shorter because the muscles remember that work. They remember how to release. So
wow.
I've had people come in that first session, hour and a half, third, fourth session, 60 minutes. Okay. So it's how it goes. Yeah.
And do you, I mean,
hey.
Oh, what?
Hey now.
Oh, and I got to write down my thoughts so I don't forget it.
We have her for a little while.
Okay. All right.
Well, there's a few.
So exciting.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting. There's a whole lot.
It.
There's a whole lot of things that I want to talk about with this, but we have a few people that we need to talk about first.
Absolutely. I apologize.
All right. So first, let's talk about Let's talk about sauce hockey. If you like hockey, and there's a lot of people that do, and they don't have any really cool shit to wear. All they have is those really stupid, huge hockey jerseys, and that's not very flattering for the ladies. So go to Sauce Hockey.
Or the men, for that matter.
Yeah, or for the men. Go to saucehockey.com, and that is designer clothing for hockey lovers. So,
and it really is great clothing.
Yeah. So let me just pull up something that is for the ladies. Hey, all right, I hit it, but it went away. All right. Women's department. Okay, see?
Cute.
Stay classy.
Cute.
Let's get sauced right there. That's kind of nice. So if you're into hockey and you're like, I really don't want to wear a hockey jersey, but I want to show my support, my love of the game, go to saucehockey.com. You know what else is cool about this, Lisa?
What's cool about this?
They have a charity associated with Sauce Hockey, and it's called the Healthy Scratch Foundation. So when you purchase something from Sauce Hockey, they donate part of their proceeds to the Healthy Scratch Foundation, which gives money to a foundation that provides underprivileged youth and adults the opportunity to get started in the great sport of hockey.
Beautiful.
Down in the Arizona area.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Love that area. Love
I
it.
love that area of Arizona.
Desert, very desert down there.
Yeah, I would.
It's dry heat.
It's the last place I
It's a
would
lot
think of
better.
is for hockey, but they make it work. So, you know what else? I was going to say, you know what else makes me work? But that doesn't sound right.
Are you transitioning? Really
I was
badly?
trying to. I was trying to segue it.
That was not good. We
But I
realized
crashed
there's
and
one thing we got to practice on.
One
It's
thing
your segues.
Yeah, I crashed and burned, but I'm going to bring it back around. You know what's really sweet?
What's really sweet?
Sweet Raw Joy. Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com and you can get these tiny little beautiful desserts that are sweet and yummy and
Decadent.
delicious.
They are really.
Extremely decadent.
And I'm like Mr. Sweet Tooth. Give me a Hershey bar. I'm happy as a clam. This stuff is really good.
They come in very small sizes.
Yeah.
You'll buy it, and you'll think, that's it? That's all I'm going to get? But they're like these little, beautiful little pucks. Since we just talked about hockey, maybe I'll segue it with pucks, right?
Yeah, let's associate hockey pucks with the desserts.
It's a
that she makes.
puck-sized, beautiful. Put them there.
It looks like, yeah, it does. And one bite of it is almost good for me. It's pretty rich and
So, like, see these little pucks up there? Those
Oh, I
dozen
see,
mini
yeah.
lemon
It's more so the
cheesecakes.
shape, not
Right.
more so
It's really the shape.
denseness.
So it's very small. Or you can get a normal 16 serving pie.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, you split one of these little things into fours, you're full.
Yeah.
Totally satiated. I just like saying the word.
Kid loves that word.
Love that word. So you go to sweetrawjoy.com, throw Lori Moritz a little love, and throw your tummy a little love by getting desserts to live for.
Tummy always needs love.
It does, doesn't it?
How could she not want you to write a jingle? I don't know. Give your tummy a little love. If you want a little love. Perfect.
Yeah. It might look better on the camera than it does really audio wise. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. All right. When you're done with that and you want to book an entertainer, the segues just keep on coming or not coming
No.
tonight.
That's all right.
You should just be doing the same thing.
I should have a few more beers.
The next sponsor is
next
this.
sponsor.
The next sponsor is this.
Yeah.
That'd be much better.
Well, if you go to USA Entertainment Agency, this has nothing to do with Sweet Raw Joy. We're moving on to the next person.
All right, on to the next.
Jeff Johnson.
Wonderful guy.
He owns and runs USAEntertainmentAgency.com.
as well as Penguins Comedy Club.
As well as Penguins. Thank you, Todd, very much. And if you go there, you can book comedians or dueling pianos or whatever you like for your corporate event or for a wedding or for a festival or a fair. Get a hold of him. And if you're worried about,
I'm
people-
so scared of where you're going with
people
this.
are uppity. You know, this is a big corporation. This is a big agency. He's too big for his britches. No, not with Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson is a very
Pretty down to earth guy.
swell fella.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring back the lingo from like the 1950s. He's a swell fella,
Yeah.
and he's very honest, and he does us some solids from time to time.
Yes, he does.
Whenever
Gets
we're
it-
whenever we're hurting for like a guest.
Well, actually, we're never really hurting for guests because we find
You're
great
right.
people.
You're right.
But
Thank
sometimes
you.
we want to
You're
break
right.
it up. I'm like, oh, let's see if we can get a comedian from Jeff. And he
well,
just
if we have like a last minute
there you go.
cancellation,
Mhm.
Jeff will say, "Hey, I got comedians coming in on a Thursday. They don't perform
Perfect.
until Friday or Saturday. They're just sitting around. Let's
Oh.
get some publicity for them."
Yeah, he's
And he
a
sets
good
us
dude.
up. So he's a really good dude. And if you want to work with a really good dude, go to USA Entertainment Agency, book your entertainer today, and create those wonderful memories. You know where else you can make some amazing memories, Todd?
Please fill me in.
In a home. In a home by Revolution Realty.
Where else?
Team. If you go to www.rr-team.com, or you can, I suppose, just spell out revolutionrealtyteam.com, these people, they'll sell your home for 5%. Like a lot of realtors, they'll do like a 7%, and then you feel like you're getting screwed. But these guys, they're trying to sell your home.
I like the
and make
technology
less.
on their website's awesome too. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that 3D building. You can
3D
swing
tour.
through it. It's so cool.
Mhm. It's pretty fabulous. Like, you've shopped for a home, you've gone online, right?
Browse it. Yeah.
And I thought it was always cool when they had like the 360 camera. Like you
Oh,
click
yeah.
on a room and then you can swing left or right.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you can get 3D crazy.
What?
Let me see if
I'm
let me
so
see if this
behind
pulls
on
up.
technology.
All right, this is kind of loading. Maybe I should have done this earlier.
That's all right.
It's still loading. But we're gonna go into it. Look at
Oh,
this. See, look
wow.
at this.
What?
I zoomed way too far. But you
I
can
really
go
want
like
to see that door hinge,
if-
though. That was crucial.
see, look at that. That's 3D, baby.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you can back up, you can check out you can look at the dollhouse
Wow.
version of it, click and drag.
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
I don't know if I can continue on.
I know it.
After
I
seeing
know
this.
it. I know it. It's amazing.
That's
So if you
amazing,
want
yeah.
something cool, if you really want to have a good sense of how a house is laid out and you want somebody to sell your house and not rip you off, go to revolutionrealtyteam.com.
Perfect.
Check them out today. All right, Todd.
Well, if you need financing and you're looking to invest some money, you've come into some money or you need retirement,
That's true.
you probably want to get a hold of Premier Financial and talk to Matt. Just ask Matt.com.
Go to the website askformatt.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is another one of our sponsors. Wonderful guy.
And you heard the jingle at the beginning of the show, so we won't go into it again because I don't want to misrepresent the man. But Todd, Lisa, It's time.
It's time.
For
Cards Against Humanity.
sweet.
If you want to have a great time with your family and friends, even people you don't know,
It's a good way to get to know them.
it's a
It is
wonderful
an
icebreaker.
awesome icebreaker. And I tell people all the time that we use this for an icebreaker. And I say, we play Cards Against Humanity on the show. And they go, oh, really? Is that kind of hard? And I'm like, it's an icebreaker. So they get to know us and we get to know them. They're like, oh, that's a great idea. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they feel like we're torturing people or what, but I think it's a great icebreaker.
It's the great thing about having a podcast and putting it on YouTube is if it's not your bag, just click. Just move ahead in the play. You know what I mean? You're not.
Oh, that's a good
It's not
point.
like a normal television show where I'm locked in.
If you don't want to hear
I
us
gotta
say
get through
crude
the
things,
commercials.
and we're
all
not
that shit.
racist. It's Cards Against Humanity's fault.
Yeah, it's Cards Against Humanity's fault. So if you want something cool, go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. It's a game for horrible people. That's what they say. You can buy it for $25. You can download it for free. Isn't that fucking cool? You can
Yeah,
download
it's
it
the
for free,
best.
but don't do that.
Give
Give your heart
him
up.
$10.
You can do that.
Give him $25.
$25.
I love watching the quotes that are scrolling.
Yeah. Dorito breath.
They catch you
right?
off. They catch you
In
off
a
guard.
pinch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And not only are they awesome in the United States, but they have a UK edition, a Canadian edition, and an Australian edition.
We had an Australian on here who could tell us how inappropriate
Say
they
that
were.
Yeah.
And
we were,
Aussie, yeah.
we didn't know that they were inappropriate. And he was like, "Wow, they're really bad." So,
Yeah, because I would
Interesting.
say, Russell Crowe's shitty band, or white. It was the white Australian policy.
and that was
The white
removing
Australia policy.
Aborigines from their families and trying to re-educate them in the white world. So it was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Or the boat people. The boat people was another big one.
I think if I were to play this game with Will, if Will were to come back over and just hang out with Christine and us, and I think the whole game I'd be saying, dude, what the fuck does this mean?
Yeah,
What does this mean?
that'd be kind of fun though.
Chundering into a kangaroo's pouch. That was a terrible Australian accent.
I asked you so many times not to do that.
And I know,
why.
but that's who I am. I just do that stupid stuff.
All right,
Anyway,
so the uncomfortable question, rule number 1.
this is actually an official rule. So have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
Yeah, she has.
So you
Yes,
have. Okay.
I have. Mm-hmm.
Well, our listeners don't know that. You covered that
Okay,
before the
well.
show. Big boy.
Okay, I don't
Big
think
fella.
It really matters that much.
This is
Okay.
not my first Cards Against
All right. I
Humanity
just didn't
rodeo.
want to I didn't want to shock her.
No shock.
I
Okay.
prepped.
So the official first rule of Cards Against Humanity is
Who had the most recent bowel movement?
not today.
Oh, that's not good for
Wow.
you.
This
And I had a
morning.
lot of sunflower seeds, so it's probably gonna be later.
So wrong. I'm trying to think of. It was this morning, like 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right. We're talking like 7 a.m.
Oh, so you won, Todd.
I won.
You want
Once
Awesome.
again, are you?
I went first.
All
She
right.
could have.
No, I went. I went first.
Well, I could have. She could have said whatever she was. She's like, "Oh no, I got you beat." It was right before I came here.
Yeah, she could have said that.
She could have said that.
She could have been a cheater. We
She
would have
could have
known
been a
a lot.
cheater.
You would have known a lot about our guest
Yes.
if she would have said, "Oh, I just went." Can I go
I
first?
gotta leave some mystery.
That's why I was late. I had to.
That's
go to the
why I was
bathroom.
late. I had to go.
Now
That was
it all
it.
comes together.
All right.
So I go first, right?
So you go first, and for our listeners at home, we are playing the expedient rounds.
Yes.
Of Cards Against
We're just doing
Humanity.
2 shots
Normally,
apiece.
you don't deal out the black cards. Normally, you just hand out a black card, and you go in a clockwise manner, and you have 10 white cards.
We
and
do have 10
as
white
you
cards.
as you use a white card, you replenish your hand, so you always
Right.
have 10 white
We're
cards.
keeping it simple.
But not on this show. We're doing it different.
That's right. So please peruse your white cards, and I will look at my. Oh, it's a twofer. That's exciting.
Great. It's always good.
I'll give you guys a second to kind of look at your cards.
Go ahead and read it.
In a world ravaged by blank, our only solace is blank. In a world ravaged by blank, our only solace is blank. Try to do it. That's not a very good Batman voice. I was
No, it's
trying.
really pretty good.
In a world ravaged by blank, our only solace is blank. Oh, I'm looking forward to something really inappropriate that you make me say out loud.
Okay, so another thing, when you hand the cards to him or when you put them in front of him, the very first blank will be the top card.
Okay.
Just so that it makes sense, so that he knows how to do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is for you, Todd.
This whiskey is really good.
Agreed.
Why did you pour yourself whiskey? Give me back the 312.
He's double fisted. tonight.
I can enjoy that.
I have a soiree, if you will.
A soiree is a party.
Yeah, I have a party going on in this cooler over here. I can say that.
Are we good?
Okay.
Oh,
No.
Lisa's still thinking.
I'm sorry.
She's
guys.
overthinking it. She's overthinking it.
She's making sure we got something good.
You gotta know your audience. Just put it right over there, and make sure that he can't tell whose is whose pile. Okay, and
Good?
Todd.
Yeah. So he made me say something really inappropriate in front of Lori Moritz, who's the owner of Sweet Raw Joy. She
She's
was
a
on.
sweet,
Wonderful lady.
older lady.
And she had
what'd you have to say?
Has she played this game before?
No, and she had reverse.
guys.
She had reverse cowgirl for one of her answers. She's like, "Well, what's that?" And I was like, "Ask your husband when you get home.
Yeah.
Ask him what that is."
We're doing you and your husband a favor tonight.
That's
Go
right.
home and
You're
ask your husband all about
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
All right, here we go. In a world ravaged by words, our only solace is farting and walking away. Oh, I like that one. That's great.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, right?
Does make sense.
Yeah. In a world ravaged by Joe Biden, our only solace is an ice pick lobotomy.
Oh, that would absolutely be a fact. That would be a fact.
That's
I'm going to go with the Joe Biden.
That it makes sense. I'm not even angry. I'm not even angry.
Very, very nice. Nor should you be.
Nor should I be. All right, Lisa,
all right.
go ahead and read one of your black cards, please.
All right.
Look at my cards.
What has been making life difficult at the nudist colony?
All right, I immediately have an answer.
What
Oh, that's great.
has been making life difficult at the nudist colony?
Actually, I have some pretty good ones
know
for
what?
this.
I don't mind laughing at myself. I don't mind just carrying on. Nobody else knows what I'm laughing at.
All right, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, shut your eyes. No, not you.
Not you.
All right, go
You're
ahead.
good.
Open your eyes and read each response with the question with the each
Question
response.
first.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
please.
What has been making life difficult at the nudist colony? Me.
That's great.
What has been making life difficult at the nudist colony? Hot Pockets.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets.
Have you seen Jim Gaffigan do his hot pocket? He's going to be in Cedar Rapids.
What?
Jim Gaffigan's coming too. Is it? Yes, Jim Gaffigan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be at the Five Seasons Center.
All right, which one?
Which do you like?
Which one tickles your fancy?
Me.
Yeah,
That's
that was
me.
a really good
That's
one.
me.
I like that
Thank
one.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Describe the white pile.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah,
those from you.
just chuck them at him.
Nope, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, just
Prefer not to.
like a paper cut would be awesome. All right, mine is my plan for world domination begins with. My plan for world domination begins with blank. All right, my eyes are closed. I'm ready for some amazing responses.
Oh, that's kind of a tough one.
You know what? We probably won't have
you.
background music on this during these moments until we have somebody running the TriCaster.
There you go.
All right, can I open my eyes?
Can I have a dream? Yep. Please.
All right, here we go. My plan for world domination begins with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's all right. My plan for world domination begins with blowjobs for everyone.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to say blowjobs for everyone. Whose is that?
This guy.
You?
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
I really
That's
enjoyed
for
it.
you, Will.
Enjoyed it just for about 2 seconds.
That's for you, Will.
Oh, shit.
I love my little.
She knows her audience.
I love my little wombat. I miss my little wombat. I wonder how he's doing. I wonder what's new with him.
You and your bromance have got to take it down a notch.
And if you want to check Will out, go to Bass Farms on Highway 30.
Oh, yeah?
He's
run
out there.
produce.
Yeah.
Produce run.
Run produce.
Run produce. Produce
produce,
run.
To get away.
Yeah. Now in bookstores, The Audacity of Blank by Barack Obama. Now in bookstores, The Audacity of Blank by Barack Obama.
All right, so your eyes are closed? All right. No cheating?
Wow, Lisa, that was a good idea for the whiskey. This is really hitting the spot.
You're
tonight.
Yeah, you haven't had
You're
that for a while,
welcome.
Todd. Go ahead. Open your eyes and act like a human.
Very nice. Now in bookstores, the audacity of The White Half of Barack Obama by Barack Obama. That's good. Now in bookstores, the audacity of Bosnian Chicken Farmers by Barack Obama. I like that one too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But I'm going to go with The White
The
Half.
first one, yep.
It fits so well.
Yeah.
That
it
was
does.
perfect.
Very, very nice.
Give credit where credit is due.
That's right. Hey, you got the blowjob one. I think you might have won the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Lisa, go ahead and read your last black card, please.
Alrighty, it's a twofer.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Yes.
With enough time and pressure, blank will turn into blank.
I have the perfect. If you don't pick me, I might not be favorable to you for the rest of the podcast. That's how good this answer is.
Okay, well, you're
Jeez, high pressure stakes.
right.
All right. That was all a joke.
got
Everybody.
another
Just
hour,
relax.
Elise.
Just relax. I'm not that competitive. Go and close your eyes. All right. You're good to go.
Alrighty.
I don't have any good sexual ones. I'm kind of disappointed this time.
Top card first, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With enough time and pressure, Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, will turn into Judge Judy. Good.
She's
Good,
very
good.
close to that already.
could happen.
She's very close to that
mean,
already.
It could happen.
Yeah, at any moment now. It probably already happened. With enough time and pressure, teenage pregnancy will turn into suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Who does that?
Yeah, who does
If I was
that?
a teenager and I was just like, oh, I just want to go out with my girlfriends and drink. Why can't I just fucking one beer?
Teenagers drinking.
I had one
gonna
night,
say.
one night
Teenagers
of wild
drinking?
teenage
Did we miss
sex.
that one?
Yeah.
There's a lot
my
of teenage
goodness.
moms out there going, I know which one I would pick.
Amen. Yeah. You're right.
Well, we'll go with the latter. They're both good ones. Both good ones. We'll go with the teenage pregnancy.
I
Suicidal
think
thoughts.
that actually fits the best.
You know what I'm thinking?
what?
I'm really sucking again tonight. Look at that. I'm
It's
0
all right.
for like 5.
You didn't get it.
all
You haven't
right.
gotten any yet.
Nothing.
Well, we got the old
why
Todd
let,
back.
why
everybody.
let anything change?
We got
Why
the old
start
Todd
now?
back. Yeah.
I kicked ass last time.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked to Junior today. He said to say hi. He'll be back in July. He wants to do a podcast in our new studio.
Speaking
No,
of you
Junior-
sucking ass, I talked to Junior today.
Junior kicked ass at this game last time we played.
Oh, okay.
So that's
all
what I'm
right.
saying.
You're right. No, you're right.
My oldest is in the Air Force.
When will he
so-
be back
Oh,
in?
nice.
In the middle of July?
Awesome. I can't wait to see him.
Yep, but he can't wait to do it
God,
in our
I
new studio. He's
can't
very
wait to
excited.
see that little shit, that little big
Yeah,
shit.
he's not.
I've
little
known
anymore.
this kid since he could not walk.
How old now?
21. He'll be 21 in July.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's I'm almost like a proud
Second father.
surrogate father, almost something weird like that. Okay,
Comfortable.
He has
what?
2 dads. All right.
Yeah, what brought the orgy to a grinding halt?
Oh jeez.
Oh,
I know you listeners out there are driving to work right now thinking, "Oh my God, I wish I could share that one time." What brought the orgy to a grinding halt? All right, my eyes are closed. I'm going to think about my own stories.
I have smegma as a card, but I'm not using it.
Yeah, wow.
And it did fit, but I think it's really gross. So
All of these are. My goodness.
you've run out.
No, they're all favorable.
Oh, they're all that
It's
good.
like too many to choose.
That's
from.
Somebody's
good-
getting cocky.
That's a
I
good
like
place
that.
to be.
I
That's a
mean-
good place to be.
That's a good
Yep.
place to be.
Sorry, but I'm all that in a bag of chips.
Did I not mention that when I walked through the door?
Can I stop?
Go ahead.
Okay, I can open my eyes.
Open your eyes, please.
All right, these, right?
Mhm.
Right here? All right. What brought the orgy to a grinding halt? Actually getting shot for real.
Whoa, that would
That would do it.
that'd be a grand halt.
So somebody's like, hey, how about the money shot? Wham! And then it's an actual shot.
Yeah, that's exactly
That
what it
would
is.
really ruin the mood. What brought the orgy to a grinding halt? A sad hand job. It was just so sad.
so good.
Perfect. Whoever put that card down is getting it.
I am
Oh.
sucking. She is just bringing it home, man.
Yeah. Well,
Someone had to.
you know
Someone
what?
had to.
Bless
You dealt the cards,
America.
young man. You dealt the cards.
That's exactly my point. I'm just sucking huge.
We are done, right? You started, and I think you and I tied 3-3.
Tied 3 and 3.
All right.
Yep.
The tie goes to the guest.
Tie goes
So
to the
you go.
guest.
Oh, well, thank
So
you.
if you want to have a great time with people you may not know and you want to have that icebreaker, go to Cards Against Humanity. You can take this card game with you. Like you and your friends can go to a local bar, a local establishment, and just order pizza and beer and laugh your asses off all night long.
We should tell Quinn at Lion Bridge that he should they do a trivia night. They should do a Cards Against Humanity night. That would be a blast.
And if you want to get really saucy, get the bigger, blacker box.
17 inches.
Whoa.
No, you're really fucking
21
yourself.
inches long, 17 ounces.
Of pain.
That's right.
That's it. The bigger, blacker box. And don't be misled. The bigger, blacker box, it's just a box. There's no cards in it.
You have to purchase.
Yeah, and you can purchase
You bought everything.
a ton of holiday packs and expansion packs, and you could get your Aussie edition, all that stuff. So go to cardsagainsthumanity.com and have a wonderful time. All right, Lisa Gillespie. You're on the
Yes.
spot now, lady.
All right.
All the attention is on you.
Right
It's
over here.
all about you.
All right.
All right, you good
Where
at
do we
this?
start? Where do we
All right,
start?
all right, listen.
Can I go first? Is that was you cut me off?
Wait.
He had a thought. He had a thought.
Okay.
Well,
I have it written down. Do what you got to
wrote
do.
down
No,
his thought.
you know what? I apologize. We didn't talk about current events just a little bit. Do you
Well,
want to talk about that just a little bit or no?
No, we can hit on topics later.
Okay, we'll hit topics later.
Do you find can I describe again
you asked
what
for
you
the
do?
spotlight and then you just tripped all over your tongue.
So kind of describe again what you consider kind of what you do. Define it.
Okay, define it. So I call it soft tissue release.
Okay.
This is a technique that was developed by Bill Lesor, and he now practices in Scottsdale, Arizona. Flexibility Pro is his establishment. So he worked with MLB teams across the board and wanted to develop something especially for them, pitchers specifically.
Oh.
He started off doing massage therapy and thought, you know what, there's got to be something more out there. And over the years, developed this technique more so of breaking apart the tissue versus just gliding over top of it, or as you like to say, ice skating. You know,
Okay.
you get.
And so he's down there because of spring training kind of thing, or is that
That's
kind
just
of
where his location
Oh,
is.
it is, okay.
And that's him right there.
hmm And if you look, there's just name after name of, athletes, musicians that he's worked with. Just
and the two of you are the only two that are doing this, right? Mm-hmm. So have you ever thought about moving somewhere else and doing this? Like, I mean, Cedar Rapids, and I love Cedar Rapids, but
Cedar Rapids is always going to be a home base. You know, you can't turn your back on people who open the door to you and they're like, hey, I believe in you and I believe in what you do. You know, let's get you
Absolutely.
started. You know, so it's not just like, okay, well, I got this better job here, so see ya.
Sure.
You know, you always have to have your home base somewhere. So it's definitely somewhere that I want to take to bigger cities.
cool.
And go with from there. But definitely stay loyal to
Do you see a big difference? So like Nick Rosine's been on the podcast, Keone Koch's been on the podcast. We haven't got Kent on yet, the big lug. We can't
we
get him
haven't.
locked
Big
down.
lug, big
Andy's
lug of love.
tried to get him in here, but it's been difficult. He's a busy fella.
Yeah.
Yes.
But do you see? I mean, Keone obviously is a jiu-jitsu, artist, and do you see a difference when you work on him muscle tissue wise as compared to like a Nick Rosine, who are really well muscle, not muscle bound, but muscle structurally kind of different?
Well, everybody is different genetically anyway, and then you add on the layers of their training and then their, stress. Like some people can carry stress in different spots, and you definitely feel that on the bodies. But with example for what Keone does, he has more of a forward stance where everything is bound up, and he uses a lot of hands, a lot of upper body, whereas Nick uses a lot more full body with all of his lifts. So you're going to feel that throughout the body. So it's important to not only know your athlete you're treating, but what it is they train and do. A big part of what I started with at the Inville Gym is just watching people train and lift, because if they're coming in saying, oh, I squat like this or I deadlift like this, and I don't know what that is, I can't really help to address it. So
Sure.
it's important to know that aspect of it.
Did
as
Ken
well.
give you a closet somewhere, or where's your
It's a
shop
storage room. But you know what? It was one of those things where it's like, hey, this is what I have. If your table fits, you're welcome to start here. And I was at that point in my career where I was like, yes, this is perfect for me.
Don't the best things start that way? I mean, think
Very
about all the
small,
companies
very
that start in
grassroots.
garages. It's
Right.
like just I love what I'm doing, and I'm just going to see how it works. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, very cool, very cool.
That's
Now
awesome.
you started. You grew up in Kentucky.
Yep.
Then you moved to Illinois,
Moved to Illinois.
and then you went to Upper Iowa.
Northern Iowa.
You went, what?
Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa. For college. So how did you make this transition? Because when I think of a degree, you got a degree in what?
Athletic training.
Athletic training. So you went from that to being a massage therapist, right? You went to school. You did that for 4 years, massage therapy.
Yep.
I normally think, I suppose massage therapy would fall into that type of a degree, but I always kind of thought of that as like a personal, more of like along the lines of a personal trainer or rehabilitation therapist type of thing. But I suppose massage therapist kind of falls into that a little bit.
It was one of those things where I knew initially that I wanted to do massage therapy, but I knew it was the better decision to go to college first. And I love sports and kind of got into this whole rehab prevention injury with athletic training. So I did that. And then it was kind of a layering process after that. Went to school for massage therapy. Most places that want a massage therapist with, professional level sports want you to have at least 3 years of practice. So I thought, all right, I got to get my 3 years in, just get that in, then we'll go to the next part of the process. Started working with athletes at Northern Iowa and thought, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to be an athlete full time. And that's when it kind of started looking for Gillespie. I actually had a girlfriend that her and her husband are moving down to Arizona. And I thought, all right, let's just see what teams, professional teams have on staff. And they all had someone, muscle therapist, manual therapist, contacted all of them. Bill was one of them, and he was the only one that responded. So that kind of started the whole, all right, well, what did you do? How did you get to where you're at right now? And he introduced this theory to me of, all right, this is my technique. If you're willing to learn it, I'm willing to teach it.
So how is this so much different? Like, explain to me what's the mentality or what physically is happening that is so different between what you're doing and if I were to say, God, I'm kind of sore. I love getting rubbed down. I'm going to go see a normal masseuse.
Well, I do like that. I do like that feeling, though. But I guess if it's just ice skating, like you said, I don't know. Is it a bad thing to get a massage?
Well,
but not if you're looking for not if you're really trying to release the muscles. Is that maybe that's a big difference? Okay,
right. So it's definitely a part of the process. Massage is a good thing. What's different with this is that instead of, I'll give you a visual. There's video, so that helps. So our muscle tissue fibers, they're supposed to move freely next to each other like this.
Okay.
They don't. Mine don't, and yours don't. So whenever this fiber gets fatigued, it'll neuromuscularly bind or split to the one next to it. And then our fascia, which is kind of like the saran wrap for our muscles, comes in and wraps around on top of that. So our body is thinking, hey, we just made this tissue stronger for you, when really it shortened it. It's moving in dysfunction. When we get that restricted range of motion, that's what that is causing. That's what it's coming from. So where massage therapy is good, feels good, it's just going over top of the tissue, but it's not actually changing the structure of the tissue.
And that's kind of the painful aspect of it. Yeah,
There's
it can
where I come in, yes.
Sure, I come in to make Nick Rosine cry.
So, yeah, tears.
Just kidding.
So I go in, break it apart, releasing the soft tissue. So now you can have that movement. Now you can have that functional tissue. It's almost a re-education to teach your body how to move functionally and not dysfunctionally.
And can you feel that? Can you feel that tissue releasing when you get in there?
It's almost like ripping apart Velcro.
Really?
Oh,
God damn it. Now I'm getting more scared. I want to come see you, but I'm getting scared.
A graphic explanation.
My wife has had a knot underneath her right scapula. Every time she asks me, honey, can you massage my back? I'll get in there and I'll start rubbing along underneath her scapula. And it's just like gristle. Gristle. I've never been able to ever. When I finish, she's never walked away going, "Oh, I feel better." I mean, but she's always wanted that. It might feel better while I'm doing it. There's I think of massage honestly as like foreplay. Because
a lot of men do.
Absolutely it's like foreplay, because for me it is foreplay. 99 times out of 100, if I'm going to get busy with my lady, the Kickstarter is her saying, "Hey, do you mind if we do massages?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do it." But It's one of those. It's the closest thing to sex. It's the closest thing to intimacy that
Well, it
you
is
can share
intimate.
with another person.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because you're touching another person. You're making it feels so good. You know, if you scratch your arm or you just rub your sore muscles, and you have somebody else doing that for you, you kind of get euphoric.
It's a caring thing. I mean, that's how it feels too, I think.
Well, you have to also think too, with having done massage therapy for 4 years, I encountered a lot of men with this mentality, and their wives drug them in because they're like, oh, they're always complaining about your back and I don't want to rub it, so I'm going to pay someone else to. So it's, you have to think of it of you going to someone who is a trained professional who is going to give you this muscle therapy. Excuse me. So you have to remember that mindset as well.
And I got to think about baseball a lot.
Jeez Louise.
There are times. It's just like getting called to do a math problem on a chalkboard in the 7th grade.
Right.
You know, there's going to be things that just happen. I was down in Cancun. It was Cancun, right? I told you the story.
Yes,
I was down in Cancun, and I thought, "Fuck it, I'm at like a resort. They have to have awesome masseuses here. I'm in a resort. It's got to be awesome." So I book a massage. I go in. I'm totally relaxed. I already feel decent before the massage even starts. She comes in and she gives me the creepiest. I'm expecting. When I walk out, I want to be completely loose. I want to feel kind of like. I've had one experience where I've had a massage on my legs because my knees were really hurting and my legs were really tight, and I base every massage off of that one, because when I got done with that, I felt like I could jump 10 feet in the air and I could just run forever. I just felt so light and so free. My muscles did. So I had this massage down at Cancun, and she's just kind of giving me this shitty massage that my wife gives me. You know, I'm just like, God, this isn't really making me. It's not really making me feel better. It feels nice, but it's not making me feel better. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm hard. And then I was just like, fuck it, own it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Don't be embarrassed by it. It's just gonna happen. I'm gonna lay there. There's a sheet on me. I'm not gonna get inappropriate.
And so is that common?
It is common. So
Really?
That was one of the things they told us, is that when men are very relaxed, it does increase that blood flow, and that's what happens. And it's not anything sexual. It's just a relaxation response that happens.
Oh, okay, I don't think I realized.
And it's one of those things where like it does happen, but men aren't going to act out on it. They're just, it's there.
It's a
and
reaction.
most of the time they're a little embarrassed it's happening because they don't want you to think.
Yeah, you can't really hide it when there's like this really thin sheet over you.
Well,
you know?
Most guys don't want you to think, oh, like that's her that's turning me on. Like that's kind of embarrassing. You know, like it does happen. It's normal. It's natural. It's just when someone acts on it that you have to kind of
see. And it's good that we brought that up, because there's going to be guys that are like, I don't want to get in there because I don't want to get a hard on when somebody's giving me a massage. You
also have to remember too, this is not massage therapy. This is completely different work. Right. This is new work. This is structure-based, deep muscle therapy.
Yeah, let's stop talking about massages because it's not the same thing. Have you heard of Kelly Starrett?
No.
He is. Can you pull up mobilitywod.com? So he's a big CrossFit guy out of San Francisco.
Yes.
He's the one that has the voodoo bands that he promotes.
Yes.
And when I hear him talking about getting in there and getting I want to say he has like the crunchiness around things. It sounds.
Right. Take a look.
Yeah, and go to About Us.
All right.
And hit Kelly Starrett right there.
All right.
Yep. And there he will be.
Okay.
He talks about getting in there and feeling things crunch and getting things and breaking things up, and it sounds kind of similar, but he does things different. I mean, you sound like
to what you said, something about how your wife has like that knot.
Yeah.
She's always feeling back there.
Yep.
So remember that visual of how the fibers are binding together, and then the fascia goes on top of that. So whenever you feel that knot, that's actually the bound up tissue with the fascia over there. You're feeling there actually is no knot in there. It's just the bound up tissue.
Okay.
It's the muscle fibers that are all caught up. And that's why it feels like gristle.
Right. That's why it feels that way. And then you've also been strengthening it in that position and moving it in that position. So it only gets more dense and more dense. So that what causes that knot feeling, but you don't actually have a knot. It's just the bound up muscle tissue.
Interesting. So using the term "not" is just not physically correct.
It's incorrect. It is incorrect.
Well, it's incorrect.
And so if he wants to work on his wife and get this knot out, he's really got to get in there.
Well,
he's got to work on that spot.
I need to send her to you.
Yes, you should send her to me.
Can't you just get your elbow and like just?
And that's the part of the work is that I don't use forearm elbow. It's all on my hands. It's all.
Sorry, I'm gritting my teeth.
It's all right.
Well,
I'm such a wuss when it comes to some of this stuff.
When you started to say, "Well, what should he do?" When I'm doing, it's almost like saying, "Well, I go to a chiropractor and he cracks my neck this way." All right, so for
come here, honey, let me crack.
Yeah, for those husbands out there, what should your husband do to crack your neck? I try to go harder because I want to get that what I feel is a knot out. I want to get that gristle out of there and make her feel better. And it's just I don't know if I know I'm probably not doing it right, and I'm just causing her pain.
And sheer force isn't going to do anything. Probably.
Well, and anytime
and if you're not doing it right,
you're adding that kind of discomfort on the body's just going to go on defense because anytime your muscles are bound together, it's the neurons, like it's neuromuscularly based. So they're trying to protect itself. So if you're pushing on it, it's just going to go on the defense and you're not going to do any good because it's just going to get tighter and tighter because you're trying to put that pressure on it.
Does it get inflamed at all? Is there inflammatory kind of aspects to that as well or not really?
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on everybody gets to that point a different way, be it that's just your function over time, repetition. Okay. Definitely. Yeah.
I knew this guy, Kelly Starrett. I knew he looked familiar because he wrote the book Supple Leopard, right?
Yeah.
But
then I went to his CrossFit gym to see if I could meet him. And this year, when we go to California, I'm gonna do a WOD there too.
He was on a Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan kept saying
he was
okay, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But they almost started arguing because Joe Rogan really doesn't argue with anybody, really. But he said, so what is so different about what you're saying and say yoga? What exactly, what are you trying to tell people? How are you supposed to be more supple like a leopard? He goes, isn't that just more like yoga? And the guy, he couldn't put into words what his book is really about. So I have the book. It's upstairs. I bought it because I was so intrigued by him initially. But then the more I started listening, the more I listened to the podcast, I'm like, so is this guy full of shit or...
He's pretty well known now. Like corporations fly him in to help with people who are sitting for a majority of their day to help them with their posture. And
so let's go back to the quote you had from Bill about how we're missing a step here.
And this is what it's called. Bill Lasur says, stretching a muscle group without manually releasing dysfunctional tissue is like waxing a dirty car. An important step has been missed.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So even when I met with Bill and beginning to learn his technique and theory behind it, I was mind blown. I thought, oh my gosh, I've been treating people so wrong for like the last 4 years, but I wasn't educated in it. Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to stretch muscles when they aren't released? How are we supposed to have this functional movement when there is no function to begin with? So that's what this work starts with, is it starts at that, that building block level of releasing that tissue, opening it up to encourage functional movement. It's like, for example, the healthy blood flow. How are you supposed to keep the healthy tissue if it doesn't have that healthy blood flow? It's like a dry sponge on the sink in the morning. It's going to be hard if you try to move it, but the second you immerse it in water, it's super pliable. It's the same thing with our muscles. You open them up, then you're going to get the movement. But if you try to stretch it while it's still dry, you're not going to go anywhere.
And wow. It's a pretty good picture in my mind then. And so do you suggest somebody coming in to see you? Is it like twice a week or, how do you kind of...
I started with that first initial session and then once a week, if they can, depending on time. Financially, everyone's a little bit different. But even every 2 to 3 weeks. And then I have people that I'll see regularly every 4 to 5 weeks on a regular basis. But yes, it is that foundation that you want to get laid first. So just get that get it started and then start your training on top of that. I have some people who are really sore the next day, or it's that, that day 2 soreness. That's usually traditional with most post workouts. But even when Bill worked, he worked on my arms and I felt sore, but light with movement. I've had other body work where it was just heavy massage therapy the whole time and I felt heavy the next day and I didn't have that movement. It was completely different with Bill's work. I was sore like it had been worked, but I had additional range of motion.
How about pulled muscles? I mean, things like that. I mean, I was training for Ironman and I tore my calf pretty bad. And I thought, I was off it for about a month and I thought, I'll go in and just get a light massage. And she tore me up and I couldn't do anything. I stayed off it for another month and then I tried to run the dam to dam with him, tore it again. And then I had to we went back to the hotel room and I called the Ironman and backed out because I had to stop training and I couldn't fulfill it. So
it's not something I would recommend right after injury. With most injuries, you're not going to want anything on it right away. But if it's something that, you've rested it, it's been a while. If you came in, you're like, hey, this happened a month ago on my lower leg, I would work everything around it before even touching your calf.
Oh, okay.
Because you have that injury in that one spot. So now every muscle is kind of bringing everything else into work. You're compensating. So your hamstrings are working a little harder. Your feet are working a little bit harder. And then it just kind of goes up the chain from there. Now your glutes are having to work harder. Now it goes into your low back. It's that whole chain of events.
Right. It's kind of like a chiropractor. When I go to the chiropractor and I say my neck is really out, he goes, well, your neck is out because your feet were out and then your hips were out and then your lower back was out and then it just works its way up. So it works similarly. All the surrounding tissue, all the surrounding joints and muscles.
Right. We're a whole unit, and it's funny when people come in, they're like, oh, can you just work my upper? I'm like, I can, but you're also a lower body, So when you come in, I recommend that full treatment because we aren't just a lower body. We aren't just a upper body. We're everything. So everything moves as a unit. So it makes sense to be treated as a unit.
When I'm listening to you talk about this stuff, it makes me think that a lot of the time we are doing the wrong thing because we are misled by our experiences. For instance, when I was back in the day when I was in the military, I felt great. Right? I felt great. I was in great shape. I ran a lot. I just was in wonderful condition. So now when I'm out of shape and I think to myself now, like a lot of people do, a lot of people will look back and go, okay, what did I do back in the day? Okay, this is what I did when I was in the military. This is what I did at Fort Bragg. And so they correlate a movement with how they felt back in the day. But that movement could have been the worst thing I could have ever fucking done. Right?
Right.
So a lot of us are going through the day, every day, being pounded with information on YouTube. I looked you up. I did a lot of background stuff on you. I tried to research the hell out of this podcast tonight and see what all is out there. So to see all the different YouTube videos, and it's like how to be flexible now, how to do the splits now, and you got pictures of people doing splits on chairs, and you try to do what you think is right, like my hips are tight or my legs are tight, and I'm going to do this, but you're actually causing more injury.
Right. Go back to that dry sponge. I mean, if you're trying to push on it or roll on it, similar to what we do with a foam roller or just trying to stretch it out, you're not doing any good. Everything's going to stay the same. If anything, you're just pissing off the muscle tissue because it's I can't do this.
Kind of aggravating it. Okay.
Right. You really are. So you have to go, back to the basics.
So to your own horn, so you would suggest if people want to have good mobility, as a CrossFitter, if you want to have good mobility and you get a massage on a regular basis, you probably want to switch over to what you're doing because that's going to give you better mobility and you're not just,
and not even completely quitting massage. Massage therapy is a great thing and can be used well at the appropriate times. And I think if you added my work along with a massage therapist to supplement it, those two therapies are going to work very well together.
Okay.
If you want to come see me for my work and then go see a massage therapist. That's going to help flush everything out of your system. It's a great combination. I have several people who have, come to me for a soft tissue release and gone see just a massage therapist for that work. And then, went to chiro after that, so it's kind of that trifecta of therapies that work so well together. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And were you working out at the Anvil, and that's when you met Ken? He said, "Here's this extra space I have."
I've known Ken for years, and I remember I posted up my page as a flexibility coach, and he liked it. My phone blew up. It was Ken. He was like, "Hey, what is this? I know I want flexibility. I need flexibility. Like, I want you to come to my space. It's not much, but it'd be great for you." So that's kind of how it got started. And I was at a point in my career. I'm like, okay, let's do this. I was working out of a salon spa, and it was just not going to be the great venue for this work. And so moving into this gym was going to be ideal.
The Anvil seems to kind of
and perfect
match yours better than a salon does, for sure.
Yeah,
Is it different when you have a slab of meat like Ken on your table and you have Jared demonized Downing?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's just,
Right.
both strong, muscular guys.
Right.
But it must be kind of intriguing to see such different body types.
Oh, it's
and you throw
amazing.
Andy in there. Rocky is another beast,
Right. Yeah. It's amazing, men and women alike, who are all athletes, different kinds of athletes, depending on what they're training for, and just people who want to be healthy and get healthy. I see people at the start of their, health journey, and they're like, I want to do this right, and you get those people at the very start, which is a perfect time to do it. But it's amazing to see different kind of athletes. A lot of the fighters I've worked with, and a lot of the strongmen, bodybuilders, bikini, figure, all of the across the board athletes, high school athletes even I've worked with. So it's been a cool array of people.
That's neat to start out at such a young age, getting the right idea of how to feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think we all get so used to feeling shitty all the time.
It becomes our norm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you this before we started. I think that something like this could fix the world, right?
Right.
And I know it's just grandiose thoughts, but
it's a great thing. I love the optimism and I love the grandness of it, because why not? Like, why should it stop here?
Well, I mean, for everybody kind of listening to this, when you are driving to work, like right now, you're driving to work. How did you sleep last night? Did you sleep shitty? Do you have a crink in your neck? Have you been in a bad mood for the last week because your hips are tight, and every time you sit down to eat dinner with your family, which should be a awesome
joyful
moment,
thing.
you can't help but think about all the discomfort that you have that's in your lower back because your hamstrings are so tight, or you have this issue with this muscle group or that muscle group. So you take it out on your kids. So you take it out on your wife. So you take it out on your neighbors, and then that just expands. So then your kids take it out on their.
And I'll say this too: our bodies are the emotional blueprint of what is going on with us. I have seen people where they're fine with every session, but there's that one time where things are a little bit more bound up than normal, and they're kind of quiet. Then they'll start talking. They're like, "Yeah, I got this going on and this going on." It's like, yeah, I can literally feel that in your body. So our bodies hold on to a lot more than we realize. And there is that emotional, mental, psychological connection of, sometimes our bodies are crappy because we've had a lot of this stress over the years that builds up and it just sticks in our bodies. So it's a big part of it.
I'm feeling like that right now. I'm really stressed out from work right at the moment. I'm transitioning to a new job. And so like last night on the way home, I stopped and grabbed something for my kids, and I grabbed some beer. And I thought, oh, okay, that's not a big deal. I drank a 12-pack of beer last night. I was sitting there watching TV, kind of like
Mindless.
Lisa
oh,
is
totally,
not happy.
Lisa's
No,
not
I've
happy
been
about
there.
that.
I've-
She's spot on. It was
I've
was
been
totally
there.
mindless. Next thing I know, everybody's in bed asleep.
And
I'm not intoxicated. I'm not really that intoxicated, but I realized that for the last 6 hours since I got home, cooking dinner, doing all the normal things I do, I drank a 12-pack of beer in this small amount of time because I had so many things going on in my head, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, wow. Now I have to go to bed and wake up the next morning and I drink a whole bunch of beer. A beer or two is okay.
But it's a process. That's not something you can change overnight. It's going to be, like I want to get better. I want to be healthy, and you start that process and these learned habits that become more normal. It's changing those one at a time.
Have you gone through some of those journeys yourself?
As far as like a
Health-wise?
health journeys, definitely, yeah. Definitely within the last, probably when I started at training at the Anvil and practicing there, is probably a month after when I'm like, all right, I want to start working out here. That's a big deal there. There's a lot of intimidating people if you walk in there and you've
Yes.
never touched a weight in your life. It's very intimidating.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
started training with Ken and had a meal plan set up with Laura Schmucker, who is my diet coach. And I think it was around Christmas, I was down a good 20, 30 pounds. And then at that point, I'm like,
This last year?
yep.
Oh, good for you.
And then, I was learning how to eat clean and what food actually was, and my mindlessness of things. Oreos, that's my vice.
Really?
That was my
Regular or double stuff?
double stuff.
Good for you.
You know.
If you gotta go big.
Yeah, good for you
I'm being sarcastic.
with the heroin.
I'm being sarcastic, you dickhead.
Yeah, so that was my go-to when I would just mindlessly eat, and all of a sudden 2 rows would be gone. I'm like, how did this happen? So it was.
Then you feel guilty and shitty about yourself.
You do, but
yeah.
you learn how to replace those with good habits, and it's one of those things where it's like, if I need to get out of the kitchen, I just need to go for a drive, or I need to drink decaf coffee, or, you replace one for the other,
And were you looking just for health-wise, losing weight, or
just
was it?
for weight loss at first? And
Okay.
then I was like, all right, well, I want to go to work towards, and thought, let's do a competition. I'm in the world of competitors. So picked, the Best of Midwest.
And when is that?
October 24th.
Is that the same one that Andy was in this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Here in
And so
Cedar
was
Rapids.
who is-
Katie.
Katie
Katie O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer. She was in it this year too.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
Are you hitting all
so-
your goals? You excited?
it was kind of just like, there wasn't a number. It was just, let's lean out and see what happens. And altogether, I've been down 40 pounds. So it's a good,
Wow. That's a lot.
it's a lot. I didn't think about how much it was until I put on a weighted vest to do walking lunges. And I was like, dang, this is heavy. It was a 40-pound vest. Like,
We
to
talk about that
think-
all the time. Imagine
Yeah.
taking off a 40-pound vest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
do the same
I
thing.
wish I could take 40
Yeah.
pounds off right now.
It's a lot
It's
of hard work
crazy.
and a lot of dedication. It's funny because I'll travel and I'll have like a cooler of all my meals for the day, but that's the dedication is. And it's only for, the 6-month time period. But
Well, I heard Joe Rogan talking about fighters doing that now. They have somebody prepping all their food so they don't have to think about it. They go
Right.
in and there's Tupperware that says snack on Thursday at whatever o'clock and that's ready to go. So they don't go and get something shitty. It's right there ready to go and they eat it.
yeah, I do that myself, all of that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, someday maybe you can have somebody prep all your food for you.
Someday. So yeah, it's definitely been a cool health journey.
That's
and
awesome.
You're, healthier and you transition a lot quicker with your workouts and yeah.
Are you doing
It's
like that? You doing like the big full body stuff, or are you like are you doing like more isolated stuff for the bodybuilding?
It's just bikini, so it's nothing too extreme, but definitely squats and deadlifts and accessory work on top of that. My
Squats and
curls,
deadlifts. Gotta get
The
that
curls.
the curls,
The curls.
Curls.
Every
See,
day
I
is
mean,
a
you
day
don't,
for
you don't get
biceps.
you don't get exposed to that with your CrossFit.
I don't. No,
with your
I
big
don't.
old CrossFit hands.
But guess what? You look at Nick Rosine. I'll take that beach body
Right.
any day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Oh.
pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of
he's-
CrossFit people that have amazing bodies. Amazing bodies. Great
yeah,
physique.
and there's no curls
Yeah.
going on there.
No. Yeah,
So.
it's a lot of body work. So yeah, it's a cool health transition.
That's
definitely.
awesome. Good for
Yeah,
you.
Thanks.
That's very.
You know, when I
cool.
think about what you do, and all the little nuances that go into making who you are. Making you who you
yeah,
are.
stop giving me shit, buddy.
Well, it's a weird kind of thing because if you don't work out, if you place yourself into Matt's lifestyle for a second, and Matt wakes up and goes to work and comes home and does not work out at all, and then sits and drinks, and that's his habit for like the last 6 months. Pretty soon, like hormone levels start to drop. There's a lot of things that you don't know is happening that is happening. Like you don't realize that you put on 20 pounds. You don't realize that you might look in the mirror and you go, okay, I still have good size, but my bicep is not as hard as it used to be, and you're not thinking of, are the same hormones being pumped through my body like they were when I was exercising, when I felt great.
Right.
And then pretty soon you have an injury, and you're trying to rehabilitate from the injury, and now you're nervous to do anything because you have that injury. So everything just starts compounding, and you don't know where to. All right, it's me. I
we assumed it was all you, though.
Right. But like right now, I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't think I'm special by any means. I think a lot of people feel this way. I think there's a lot of 30, 40, 50-year-old men who think, I don't even know where to step off. I don't know where to begin.
In my years of therapy, I saw a lot of 30, 40, 50-year-old men, and the only thing they all were saying was, I'm not 21 anymore. Like, why is my body not moving like I was when I was 21? You know, and it's
or why can I not eat whatever I want? And,
right. And it's that same thing. Like, you're not doing the same things you were. Your hormones are a little bit different. You're slowing things down. You know, so and anything just with natural progression, we're going to age.
Right.
That's just how things are.
But are people not, like for me, for instance, am I not doing certain movements? Am I not being active like I used to be because I'm worried about an injury? Or is that injury really not an issue? Is it the surrounding muscle tissue that has become kind of bound up and tight to where I'm just walking around all the time? It's very uncomfortable
chicken
and
or
tight.
the egg kind of thing. You know,
Oh,
it's one could have led to the other. You know, you were having this whole lifestyle that could have led to the injury, or you had this injury, but how are you going to rehab it because you've had this whole lifestyle?
Do you feel, have you seen people come in that have had injuries and they're like, they get done with X amount of sessions and they feel like, I feel like I can really, like I didn't realize that was what was holding me back. I didn't realize it was just not getting that broken up.
Our bodies have a lot going on, and I see a lot where I'll be working on someone and they're like, oh, well, I didn't think that hurt. Like, I only, noticed my hips hurting. I didn't think my shoulder hurt as well. Our body has this great process, this great system of letting us know the chief complaint, what the major injury is. And that's what we feel. That's what's going to alert us of. So you come in, hey, my shoulder really hurts. Can you work on that? So I'll work on the shoulder, and as I'm working, oh, hey, I didn't realize my low back and my hips also hurt. Well, they've also had an issue going on, but the chief thing to get taken care of was the shoulder. So our body has a lot going on. If we felt every injury and every pain, we wouldn't be able to move because there's so much going on. Our body is an incredible machine that keeps us going. So
yeah, and we baby it. Like the majority of us baby this machine that really needs to get stressed.
I think it's a mental thing. We don't realize, we think we can't do it, but then we do, and if we got our minds out of the way to let our body do what it's supposed to do. I mean, just for example, our hips and our glutes, they're very strong muscles and they hold a lot of energy, but we're meant to be upright creatures. We're not meant to be in a seated position hours on end a day, but that's how the world is today. So if we can kind of counterbalance that and get up and moving.
It was interesting to hear that they keep saying that that's the new smoking. Sitting is the new smoking.
Oh, that sounds so sad.
It is, though.
Oh my God.
Well, I think they're just saying.
And the sad part is my job, I sit.
Well, I think the point is that that's what's happening. The majority of people are sitting for extended.
Well, they say
sitting for
as soon
3 or
as you
4
sit,
hours,
your metabolism just goes boom and slows down big time. Yeah, as soon as you sit down,
I'm gonna start planking. I think when I watch TV, I'll just sit on the floor, and then when the commercial comes on, I'll plank instead of laying on the couch.
Tell me how that goes.
That doesn't sound fun to you.
No, I mean, just let me know how that
you'll be
execution
goes. You'll be
goes.
planking, like tweeting, like I'm planking.
See,
and I'm done.
I thought that for all too. I got one of those like exercise balls. I'm like, I'm gonna sit on that during commercials, and then my couch called my name,
and your exercise
and that
ball was
sat
over
in
there.
the corner.
Right,
so
and now my
dusty?
kids have like 3 exercise balls or 2 exercise
And they
balls.
just throw them around at each other.
Yeah, I put sand in the bottom of one.
That's a good idea.
Like
That's a good
I
idea.
put sand into it, and it took for fucking ever. I had to cook the sand. Like the sand was wet, so I put it on a cookie sheet,
Oh,
and I put it in my
Dry it
oven to
out.
dry it out.
Okay.
sand gets really. I mean, it was like
Dude.
a
Does
labor
that not
intensive
get
fucking
everywhere
thing.
in your
Crazy.
oven? Like that's all I can think about is like sand
Yeah,
everywhere.
and then as I was pouring it out of the cookie sheet into the ball, what's air from the ball is shooting out of the hole. So I'm pouring sand into a hole that
Dude,
air is trying to shoot
you
out
are
of.
such a guy. Oh my god.
It took forever. Hey, listen, the original.
I get to see you. I get to see you trying to. Let's not let the air come out. Let's just. No, it's going in.
Fuck you, air.
That's right.
This sand is going in you.
I dried this for an hour on my stove.
All right. Originally, and I'm saying this because one, it's true, and two, the ladies are going to love hearing it. By the way, we have 20% of our listeners are ladies. Did you know that?
Oh.
Did you know
I
that
did
little
not know
figure?
that. How funny is that?
Yeah.
My bad.
I
It's
was
my
doing
Batman
it
voice.
for my daughter.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a tool so that she could take a physio ball to school. And for kids with little ADHD issue, if they sit on a ball and they're kind of subconsciously thinking of keeping their balance, that will
Well, what it allows them to
Help
do is
them
their body
focus.
kinetically is trying to. They do subconsciously. They're trying to keep their balance all the time.
Yeah.
and it takes their focus off of them fidgeting, and they can.
Didn't I just say that?
No.
I mean, you said it probably better than I said it.
I
but
know I said it
was
better than
just
you
saying
said
that.
it, but it's a subconscious thing. I had a teacher that asked all the parents to donate those balls so that every kid could have one at their desk.
Yeah, my
Wow.
girl's ball
Started
lasted
young.
for like 3 days, and then she just brought back this broken.
She pop with a pencil.
I think she did pop that fucker.
Was that the one you worked so hard to put the
It
in?
was, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, I actually did
That
to a
was
few
like
of them.
heart dropping.
Yeah, I did to a few of them. I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm not seeing you guys tonight. Go to bed. Dad's staying up. I'm in the garage putting fucking sand in the physio ball."
She brings it in. You're just like
I was
totally defeated.
I was a little pissed off. I was a little upset because it took so long. But I think because it was such a new thing and there was only a few kids that had them, she was really embarrassed to be like, "Oh, I'm the fucking idiot sitting on the ball." So she probably popped it, or she probably pulled her switchblade out, popped it, and then she's like, "Who wants a prison tat?"
Oh, you're so weird.
9 years old. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
But the ball was popped, and that shit lasted like 3 days.
Well, those became really popular. I mean, I still use my physio ball.
are you guys familiar with The Office?
Yeah,
Yes.
The scene where Dwight has the ball at his desk
I didn't
and
see
he's
that
like
one.
bouncing around on it and he's like saying all the benefits of it, and Jim's like, "So how much that cost?" $25. Oh, okay, so you want mine? And he came over and just slams it with a pair of scissors.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is great. I'm going to have to find that. I'm going to have to actually watch
YouTube
The
it.
Office.
You need
just
to watch The
it.
Office with Ricky Gervais, the original Office from the UK. I think it was only like 2 or 3 seasons. It was really short lived, much shorter than the one here. But it is
Well, then why would I
Hilarious.
watch that one if it was very short-lived?
because it's funny, and
Yeah,
he's
but
got
I
so
get
many
it.
things going on.
Is your fucking phone on?
It's like a tablet.
Yeah. Now, no shit. Like,
Hey, do you want to see
What?
the slow motion of my kids jumping into the pool the other day?
No.
You can see the droplets flying through the air. It's an iPhone 6 Plus. It's got a sick camera
6
on it.
Plus.
6 Plus.
6. Yeah.
They
I
have
got my
pluses
wife.
now?
Yeah, I got my wife the regular
Yes.
iPhone 6.
This is not extraordinarily big anymore.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's adorable, but it's just not. But it's not the.
Sorry. It works.
Put
Right.
that thing on top of that. It's so cute.
Oh, it's like a little accessory.
It's like the baby.
It's like a purse for your little poodle. It's a purse for your poodle. That phone.
It's cute, isn't it?
That's awesome.
I'm gonna make an appointment and go because
Please do. Please
one,
do.
I think I'm going to leap off. I think that'll be my leaping point. Come see you,
Okay.
and we'll
We-
pay you. We're not going to pull an Andy and say, "Oh, I get my shit for free." We'll pay you for your
Right.
lashes.
So
Andy.
we've really been getting out of our comfort zone lately. We've been stepping out of our circle.
Okay.
We did the sensory deprivation tank.
Jackie's.
Jackie's float tank.
Float
Mhm.
tank. Have you tried that?
Twice. Yes.
What? Okay, let me get
Did
your
you
take
like
on
it?
Okay.
What was your first? I want to know
Guys,
about.
one question at a time.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, we're
Sorry,
bombarding.
I know.
you.
we
You
just
are
freaked her out.
bombarding.
I
Calm
apologize.
down.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
We got really excited.
Wow, we did.
That
But
was
you
weird.
both have floated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So first time was a little weird because you don't know what to expect. And I've told her this. Like you don't know what to expect. You're kind of getting used to things. There's noises. You're in a dark space. Like, do I put my head down? Do I let it go in the water? Am I going to drown? Like, all of these thoughts are going through your head. You're laughing because you thought those too, but
I didn't think,
You
do I
didn't
put
think
my head in the
those-
water?
no, like
You were trying to hold your head out of the water?
I was trying to like hold my head up because you don't want to like let it go. back
That
into
shit
the
would have been
water.
really uncomfortable
It was
after like
uncomfortable.
20 seconds.
So the second time, I already knew what to expect, and I just let go, and I fell asleep for a little bit. And it was cool because it was so quiet that the only thing I could hear was myself breathing, and it was something that just kind of soothes you because you never get to hear that.
Right.
So I woke up and I thought, oh man, and that was probably like 10 minutes, and then like seconds you hear like the buzzer going and
Yeah,
the
'cause
motor's cleaning. You're like,
you
all
have-
right, I got to get out of here.
You honestly have no concept of time.
No, and it's quiet, and I love the quiet.
I
of
love
The
no
very first
time.
I couldn't close the door.
He
I had to
cracked.
keep
Got
the door
hot.
cracked.
Yeah,
He cracked the door.
I put a towel up.
Yeah.
So it's just a dude. It was a hairline
He was
goddamn crack,
Such a pussy.
and it was at my feet.
Sorry,
so when
buddy.
I'm laying there, there might have been like
Yeah, I
a
can
little
see.
bit of shadow.
yeah,
Oh, there it is.
yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
is that
I
really?
did. For sure I did that. I don't think I'm not a pussy.
I was
I'll admit
out.
it.
I was out.
I can
I
admit
loved
that.
First time
it.
you were
Oh
out?
yeah, I loved
Really?
it. I loved it.
I went like this. I was like anxiety, fucking freak out, and then deep breathe, relax, and then whoosh, like down a water slide into a dream. I had like 30 dreams the
30
first time. And then I would wake up like you do at night and you try to orient yourself in your bedroom, right? That's what you do. And when everybody who thinks I'm bullshit and you wake up in the middle of the night, what do? You open your eyes and you're like, oh, I'm in my room. I'm not being chased by a dinosaur. There's not zombies. I'm not in that forest.
But you've gone a second
You
time.
orient yourself. You cannot do that in a float tank, and you have no idea what time it is. You could be in there for 5 minutes, and you think, have I been in here for fucking 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour?
And Jackie
Right.
likes the story that I was done. I was out, and so I heard the filter
The
pump
filter
on,
kicked
Yeah.
on.
and I was assuming I would hear some kind of like bell ringing that would tell me that my time
Right.
was up, but that's not the
So the
fact.
filter went through the whole thing, and she had to start the filter again. It'll be like, hey.
And then she banged on it and knocked on it, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, am I done?" She's like,
Well, like-
"Yeah, you have been."
Hey, giant naked man in the coffin, get out!
See, and the funny thing was, I remember like hearing the filter, and it was probably like I think it was my first time, and I'm like, is she vacuuming upstairs? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. I'm like, she has hardwood floors. Like, why would she be vacuuming? So it's funny. So I really enjoyed that. So good for you guys for.
I haven't gone
stepping out
back.
of your
She
comfort
and what's
zone.
funny is she was on the podcast that night after we got done floating. He did
Right.
during the day. I went right before I came here,
Mm-hmm.
and then my ass is hitting the bottom of the tank, and so is his. And so
Right.
she put more water in it, added salt, so we could be a little bit more buoyant. And I haven't gone back, but you have gone back, so I want to go again.
The second float was much different. It was dramatically different than the
Dramatically
first one.
different. Agreed.
Like when I showed up the first time, I had my camera with me, and I'm like, yeah. I said, I'm just gonna videotape myself getting into the tank, and she goes, oh Jesus Christ, what kind of podcast is this that I'm going to tonight? And I go, what is this? She goes, you get in naked. I'm like, oh, okay, well I'll just leave the camera in the bag then. But you look,
Decision made.
you look on the internet and everybody's wearing a swimsuit.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Nobody, there's nothing on there that goes, by the way, you're naked.
You are completely disrobed.
Yeah,
That's right.
the second time was dramatically different. So it was so much better.
Good. So
Like,
what else
I-
have you guys done to get out of your comfort zone?
Well, I do love massages. It's not really that's not really out of your comfort zone.
For
but
some it is.
I've always loved massages, and I have had an array of massages. Like my very first massage was in Haiti.
Nice.
Okay, it was at the PX, and there was this huge lady, Haitian lady, and I went in there, and I had no idea what proper massage etiquette was, and she just said, mumbled, get undressed and get under the sheet, and she shut the curtain. I'm thinking, oh shit, what do I have to do? I took my shirt off, took my pants off. I had my PT shorts on, and she opens the curtains and she starts laughing and cackling. She's like, and she tells me to get completely undressed and get under the sheet. All right, so I do that, and do the massage, and I'm thinking, hey, this feels really nice. I like this. I could probably do more massages. This isn't bad. At the very end of my very first massage, she grabs my nutsack, pulls it up.
What?
I've told you this before. She
No.
has
I probably blocked
she
it
has
out.
like baking soda, baking powder.
No.
Right? And she grabs my privates, picks them up, and she goes, poof, poof, puffs some baking soda.
She powdered.
She
your
powdered
nuts.
my nuts. She
What?
powdered my nuts.
Stop it.
Swear to God, very first massage, that was how it went down.
That sounds nice, but very awkward.
Nice. What's nice about that?
Well,
It sounds refreshing.
the thing
to be quite
was, it was
honest.
Gold Bond, and that shit tingled.
Oh, it's burnt. Probably burnt.
No, I didn't burn.
It didn't burn?
It was very tingly. I was like, "What? This is very weird. Is this how it always goes?"
I'm in shock right now.
Your next massage, you're sitting there waiting, going, "My
You
nuts."
forgot something.
Hey, ho! I know I'm back in the States, but I think you all are forgetting a very important piece of this.
There's
right?
a powdering that should be happening right
Right.
this minute.
So,
Terrible.
I did not go back to the Haitian lady.
No.
I had the one shot, and then I didn't go
Done.
back.
Done.
Then I started going here in the States, and all of them were pretty good. And then my wife got me a discount for my birthday, and I went to this place. When you get a massage, to me it's a lot like the float tank. To me, it's a lot like meditation. Like you're getting into this zen. Like there's oils, like you're smelling the scents, and there's like this really nice music. It's relaxing.
I zone out pretty good.
Yeah, right? That's how I associate massages. I went to this place on 2nd Avenue. I walk in. First of all,
2nd Avenue in Cedar Rapids?
yeah, it wasn't happy hour.
It wasn't.
Just relax.
That's 1st Avenue.
Right. So,
Relax.
yeah, just relax.
Yeah, just relax.
So I went to this place, and it was an Asian family, and it was everyone in the family working there, which I think is kind of somewhat racial stereotypical. All right. I don't mean to be mean by it, but that's just kind of how it worked out. And I have an Asian thing. I have a fetish for Asian ladies. I have a thing for Asian ladies. Anyway, I was like, this is going to be fucking great. Thank you, honey, for this birthday present. And she goes, it's right over here. Now I'm expecting, because I've had a few massages now, that I'm going to be taken to a private room. It's going to be very zen-like. No. It was a huge room. It had like 20 chairs that fold completely flat, and there was televisions all across the ceiling. And you know what they were playing, Todd?
Fox News.
Lisa? They were playing the Roseanne Barr Show.
Oh, no.
The fucking Roseanne Barr
Every
Show.
TV was?
Yeah, every
Yeah,
TV
no
was playing the
decision.
same thing,
We'll
and it was
watch
Roseanne
this
Barr.
show.
And I thought, this is really hilarious.
Until you couldn't relax.
I
and enjoy
thought
your
maybe
massage.
I was just gonna wait there until like the massage was gonna happen. Then I was gonna go to like a private room. No, that shit happened right there. Grandma comes out and fucking wrecks me. I mean, she's smacking the top of my head. She's hitting like pressure points. She puts her fingers in my ears, lifts my head up off the
What?
chair, pulls her fingers out. My head goes, slams on the. So I've had the powdering of the nuts. I've had the brutality of the Asian grandmother. I've had the creepiness in Cancun. That was just kind of like she barely touched. She touched my skin just hard enough to be fucking irritating. Like,
Really?
ugh.
You didn't describe it as that bad to me
Like,
early
just-
last time.
It's like
Just
I
give
know,
me
I know you
something.
weigh 98 pounds, but like fucking stand on me or something. Just like dig your fucking heels in or something.
Wow, you're getting really aggressive.
I know. I apologize. But anyway, those are my 3 like terrible. Like, what was your worst? Have you ever had like a really bad massage?
I haven't. I went to, I think the only places I had massages, like, it used to be City Looks in Lindale Mall. I think they had a masseuse, and she's the one who kind of wrecked my calf. But everything else felt good, except that she really went after my torn muscle. And that's partly my fault of not telling her that it was torn. I probably should have told her.
Yeah, that was probably a big thing that you should probably say to me.
Yeah, so as a massage therapist.
Yeah,
You never- No powdering nuts with the
You
Gillespie
probably
massage.
have some good stories.
So, well, I mean, it's a little different being one. I will say, though, we prefer the term massage therapist, not masseuse. It's a big deal.
Really? What? Why is it?
I mean, masseuse has that negative connotation to it. And when you're someone who is a professional, you want to be
A therapist.
referred to as such.
A massage therapist.
Massage therapist.
Oh.
Probably full release with a masseuse.
Why? Why would you just jump to that conclusion?
Because it's not as professional sounding. It when you hear people talking about massage parlors, it's a masseuse. So that's why I think of it that
So
way.
you go
Okay.
to somewhere of therapy, massage therapist.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think
But you taking the classes and knowing what you're doing, have you ever gone to have a massage
Oh, definitely.
done and you're like, this is the fucking worst massage I've ever had?
You are the more critical, I think, as a massage therapist because you have your work you do and you know the work that you like, so when you go to see someone to get your own body taken care of, you want it to be top notch. So it's more so a preference, a critical thing. I see someone in town I see Allie Thompson at Heat Yoga. Love her work. She does quite a variety of different techniques that I love and work for me. Whereas I know someone else who goes to see her, they might not like that work as much as I do. Everyone's a little bit different. I would run into that too, where people would, come see me. They're like, oh, well, I usually see so-and-so, but they're busy, so I'll come and see you. And then later they're like, yeah, you're a nice fill-in, but, I like her better. You know what I mean? But everyone's a little different. I'd have people who exact opposite where they're like, you were gone and I went to see this person and I'm glad you're back. Like.
sweet. That's what you want to hear.
So that's what you want to hear.
Do you ever wish there was somebody that was trained like you are that can work on you?
Because you can't do you to you. I mean, you could do you to like your legs.
Could you train like you're not married? I assume
Not married.
Could
Not
you
married.
could you like train your boyfriend how to do it so he'd work on you? Or, I'm not trying to minimize what you do. I'm just saying that so you could get a little bit of what you want.
So I'll tell you this. So back to your whole thing of yes, massage is thought of as an intimate thing, and when I meet someone, I need to make sure that they trust me in the first 2 seconds that I meet them. Because you are working on something very intimate, and that is your body. That's your own thing. So yes, it is thought of as a very intimate thing. However, for me, it's never been something like, ooh, I want my boyfriend to work on me, that's, foreplay or whatever. It's never been that for me. It's always been a therapeutic thing. But as far as, teaching someone how to do this down the road, definitely that's a big possibility of, this is something where I can start to teach people this technique, as Bill has taught me. So it's definitely.
And so when Bill taught you, did he certify you or somehow?
Yep,
or how's that
definitely, work? It just became a certification of where I transitioned from a massage therapist to a flexibility coach.
And I wasn't suggesting that you move anywhere, but I thought, well, Jesus, if you're one of the only two that do this, could you do spring training in Florida for 2 or 3 weeks and make a shitload of money? Could you still?
There are teams here.
I know. I'm just saying, but she likes Cedar Rapids. So, but you could go down there for a month or two and probably make bank on what you do with professional athletes.
Definitely, and it's something that we're working into. I've definitely already had the privilege of working with professional baseball, so it's just something that you kind of slowly work into as you go. So, and you. I don't know. A lot of it's word of mouth and knowing someone who knows someone. It doesn't matter what I do, but if I know someone who knows what I do, that's kind of how it gets the ball rolling.
Don't we know it? That's all we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's word of mouth.
It's word of mouth. Yeah. That's kind of the big thing.
And that's just kind of been cool with how I've transitioned and just being here. It's all been word of mouth, and it's been incredibly awesome just to see how, people talk. I love talking to Bill because he'll have these big wigs come in that ask him for advertising, and they're like, well, why didn't you advertise? And he's like, people talk, and it's the truth. People let you know when they like something. So,
well, and see, South Hockey's in Arizona. And we've been wanting to go down there and do a podcast with them. They did a phone podcast way back in the day. In the beginning, it wasn't that great.
It's not the same. I mean, the only time I've ever been on the phone with somebody more than 20 minutes, it was with a girlfriend. And there's other reasons that you want to be on that phone. You're just really sucked into that phone call. You have this emotional connection is what I'm not trying to get nasty. With that other person.
I wasn't sure.
When you're talking to a perfect stranger, you don't want to be on the phone for 2 hours.
Right.
That's not a comfortable conversation. So, what is the difference? I was going to ask you this earlier. There's a lot of different types of massages. And I've always thought shiatsu. Is that in my
Ashiatsu.
What?
Ashiatsu.
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 So what is that?
like deep tissue. I've always thought of that as like the grandfather of fucking painful massages.
So that is more so work with the feet and the heels, where you'll see places that have that. There'll be these bars that are like a top of the treatment table. So therapists will actually get up and stand and use their foot instead of their hand. And they'll hang on to the bars.
Wow. To use their body weight and
use their body
everything to
weight,
get into
gives
it.
the hands a rest. Just a different means of manipulating that muscle tissue.
So how is that different?
It's still very similar to, using the hand or the forearm, the elbow, gliding over the tissue. Still in that massage category, where mine is that, manual release technique.
I'm going to have to get one done.
I think-
just so I can really
Like I said, we
grasp it.
probably should have done it first. I feel bad that we should have
really
done
should
it
have.
first.
Like I said, I had the best one I ever had. And this lady said, "So what's bothering you?" I said, my legs are typically extremely tight. My hamstrings are really tight. My hips are really tight.
Mm-hmm.
And she just worked right around my knee and my thigh. And when I got done, it was the best I felt like a goddamn superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never knew I could feel that good.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a real eye-opening, awakening moment for me, thinking how many of us have no idea what good even feels like.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not sure I know.
We're all very comfortable with feeling
We're all
shitty.
very comfortable.
Well, and it also makes you think that I've been at CrossFit for 2 years, and I feel good about the level of training that I've got to and how good I feel. But it makes you think, oh man, maybe I could have like another level of flexibility if I was able to do some of this and kind of work it into like a normal routine of
health.
body maintenance of health. Yeah.
Yeah, you get one body, invest in it,
Ooh,
Now that's a great
Trademark.
quote, by the way.
nice job.
Now, isn't there a huge difference between flexibility and mobility? Or do you not agree with that?
There's a difference.
Because mobility is kind of this new fad that you hear about because CrossFit is such a new upcoming exciting trend that everybody's doing.
But
and
now I realize that mobility part is not going to work if you don't have some of these things done. So
right, but mobility
exactly.
is being pulled along in like fashion. It's like it's the exciting thing. It's the key word to say mobility. But how does that translate? Is that the same as flexibility or is it different than flexibility?
I don't know. For me, they kind of intertwine personally. You're going to have your flexibility and mobility. Each one involves motion, range of motion, having it or not having it. I think mobility gets tacked on with a part of a training as far as like, we're going to do mobility and then we're going to do our workout, So I think it's one of those things where it's kind of translating over with like a warm up or like, a cool down of a workout. Whereas flexibility is kind of your range of motion in that joint, do you have a lot of range of motion, not a lot of range of motion? I think that's where flexibility is more fitting and properly used to describe that. So
Okay. Now, Todd told me something a few years ago, and I adamantly disagree with it. He read it somewhere. Some fucker typed it into a paper.
This should be great.
Into a magazine or something.
love getting
and
hammered
he
by you.
believes it. I think it's horseshit.
Men's Health Magazine?
I don't
Possibly.
know. I'm not even sure what he's talking about, being quite honest.
But
So
the
it's-
article said, don't even stretch before you do a workout. It has no benefit whatsoever. So,
and they weren't saying don't warm up, don't do things like that, but they were saying,
Right.
But-
sitting down
but
and
they
doing
bas- but they
static
said
stretching is not going to do any good
it's
for you.
not going to do any good for you. Where I would argue,
This has been an argument, like even
I'm glad I brought this up.
when I was, in school for athletic training. I don't know how many times it went back and forth of yes, athletes should stretch or no, athletes should not stretch, or if athletes stretch, it puts them at high risk of injury, or they didn't stretch, so now they're going to be at risk of injury. Like this is kind of an ongoing argument.
Really?
Oh yeah.
There is no answer.
There is no answer.
God damn it. I was really hoping for the expert to tell me.
But your logic would go to that if I warm up my muscles, if my mobility is not going to be near as good if I don't have the muscles released.
Right, exactly.
So stretching is not going to do me any good. Even my lifting isn't
Now,
going to be that good
halfway
because
through your comment, I was following you until you said being relaxed, being having that flexibility is good for you. So don't stretch. I was like, what that?
because the muscles aren't real. The tissue's not released. Is what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
That's
Okay.
what
I
that's
follow
what
you.
I
I
meant.
followed
Okay.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Follow
All right.
you.
Thanks.
But
Jeez Louise.
But
I'm just kidding.
when I think of like a pre-workout movement, getting ready to do something, of course the warm up, like you're getting your body warmed up,
Right.
right?
Get the blood flow going.
Getting the blood flow going. You're raising your body temperature a little bit. But I also feel like if you don't stretch like a little bit, what that article was addressing was something very narrow-minded, very narrow-focused, like a boxer. Like if you stretch before you go to try to throw a really fast punch, it's not going to be as good as if you wouldn't have stretched.
Right.
But that's a very narrow-focused way to look at it. Whereas if I warm up and I stretch a little bit, stretch my hamstrings, stretch my calves, when I go to run, I might not be the fastest motherfucker out there, but I'm very relaxed. My muscles are released. Me personally, I can't wrap my brain around it because I've never gone through what you provide. So in my ape brain, I think that's the only way I can release my muscles is to do a warm up, stretch. Oh, I feel very loose. I feel very good now.
It's the traditional way that we've all been taught.
Sure.
Even learning this concept was a new thing for me who thought, oh, I've been doing some good, and then to be, presented with this was like, all right, it's time for me to educate people. And
was it like taking blinders off?
yeah, it really was. It was just very eye-opening, very much, I've got to tell everybody about this. I've got to, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where you just get passionate about it. And I've always been passionate about healthcare and, making sure I'm healthy as a healthcare provider, and so to have this gift, it's an awesome thing to give someone, if they come in and they're like, man, like I wasn't able to work out, but ever since seeing you, I'm back in my routine. I'm on it now. And so it's a great thing to provide to people.
I think part of it is the investment. I mean, I'm going to pay you what your time is worth for you to help me. I'm not going to spend $60, $70. What is it for an hour?
$90.
$90
for a session.
Okay.
For a session.
Well, because you're not a masseuse.
Well, you're getting your money's
so,
worth.
That's why. Absolutely. So, that would make me say, okay, I'm investing $90 in myself to get this high quality kind of body prep. Yeah, and it's going to make me a better athlete or whatever I want to do. Because you're investing in it. And I'm not going to waste that money. So I'm not going to get a massage. Sorry, I'm not going to get this done and then all of a sudden go home and drink a 12-pack of beer.
Exactly.
There you go.
Right.
And if you don't necessarily believe us, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because I shoot from the hip, ladies and gentlemen. I just tell it like it is. And if you don't want to take Lisa's word for it, here's some reviews from some customers. You've seen these, right, Lisa? Robert Stiles, he says, I went to Lisa last night, not really sure what to expect, and am reaping the benefits today. This isn't a massage or for someone looking to relax. This is strictly for body functionality. That's pretty cool. That's like what you were saying.
Very cool.
Keone Koch, who is an MMA fighter. Lisa has been working with me for a few months. The results have been fantastic. The work Lisa does is essential to keep my body healthy and loose. I have had experience with multiple masseuses, never feeling the effectiveness I have felt with Lisa's work because she's not a fucking masseuse.
That's right.
I think that this is wonderful. I think your Facebook page is awesome for what you do and the ability for people to put reviews on for how they felt after you gave them that. I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely something you don't know until you experience it. I know. I give you a little preview.
What's that mean?
Who's willing?
Oh, you can hurt the
arm?
you can hurt the
I
fuck
want to
out
go.
of it.
I want to go. Don't you dare.
All right, go ahead, Todd.
So what do you...
Go ahead.
We'll do forearm.
Forearm? Do you need my sweatshirt off?
You could push up your sleeve just so this part is exposed.
Are you sure you want to do this? Because you know why you're wearing sleeves.
I know where I'm...
God damn it! I was hoping for an out. I was hoping for you to.
Hold on, I'm going to take my sweatshirt off.
While Todd disrobes, let's talk about a few of our sponsors. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that till the very end. What are you doing? Jesus. You don't want your belly button to show? Todd had to go into the closet. See, and this is when it gets creepy. This is why Lisa's like, I really like my job, but
Now you made me feel uncomfortable. God, I felt fine for a little bit.
all right. I want to see this. I want to see this action. Now, we might, just so everybody knows, I might cut out of this so I can just enjoy this and watch what's going on because it's probably not going to be awesome radio, but it could be good visual. So, all right.
All right. So
Explain what you're doing.
So we're going to release some muscle tissue in your forearm here. These are your extensors. This is a really easy visual as far as like what a release looks like and a good preview for you. So
right.
I'm going to be working up here, but what I'm looking for is a nice kick in the middle finger.
Because there's pressure points, right? Are you working pressure points at all?
Not really pressure points. It's more so this is where that muscle attaches is all the way up here.
Okay.
So a lot of time when people have grip or elbow issues, it's...
Or like tennis elbow?
Tennis elbow. It's because you're using everything right here. It's kind of like our feet. You know, the feet get everything, but we feel it. Where do we feel it? Knees, hips, low back. Same concept with our arms. A lot of the times we feel things here and here, but a lot of it is from our grip. All right.
This is cool.
I'm not as meaty as Andy.
If I see your eyes get moist, I'm just gonna start laughing at you.
All right, ready?
Wait, she just said, "Are you ready?" I thought she had already been doing it.
Don't tell me that. Just do what you gotta do.
All right, here we go. Oh, got a little one.
Wow, that's uncomfortable.
There it is. Right there.
Mother F.
You are flipping me off there. No need to give me the finger, just here to help. Yep.
Dude, I can't wait. I really can't wait to get this done.
She's only doing my forearm.
You? Would you like to...
Fuck yeah, I'm into this.
Can I get dressed now?
All right. Now, while you do this, I'm going to ask you. When I started my job, there was very, very little physical mobility. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be in a car for a while. I'm going to be sitting for a long time. So what could I possibly be doing? So I got one of those fucking gyro balls. Have you ever seen those things? Yeah, that's right. That just happened. Have you ever seen those things where you wrap up the string and then you pull it? So I'm driving this truck, just doing this.
How about you just stop for a second? So what you did to me and what you're doing to him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. So what is it that, I mean, so you're breaking up the tissue around those. So the little bit of pain that I felt, and I said little. Take a deep breath.
That was all, I really like that.
So
felt
that's
really
gives you a
good.
good idea.
Yeah.
Only all over. Yeah.
I can see why that would be $90. So do you ever get like halfway through and you're like, your hands are just like, ooh.
or is it harder with bigger guys that have bigger muscles? I mean, is that harder? Not really.
By now, I have marathon hands. I mean,
Sweet.
I've been doing body work for years. So it was different getting used to the different technique. But sometimes the more muscular person is, the easier it is because I can see what I'm working with.
Oh.
You know, I mean, it's, you know, if you were trying to work, if you couldn't see it, you know, it's like working in the dark. Like, I think your muscle is here, you know.
It would be like doing what
sure.
you're doing, but with somebody wearing a winter coat.
Right, exactly.
Do it through a winter coat. I would really rather not.
And so when you're doing that for my forearm, what are you hoping to see and what effect is it going to, how's it going to benefit me in the long run?
So with all of these, you know, all of our muscles through here, they're all kind of stuck together. So what happens is why that kicks out is because it's unsticking, so to speak.
And so it felt like you were on a tendon, but you weren't. That was the muscle.
No, that's the muscle. That is a muscle, yeah.
That is sick.
What?
It's really,
it was awesome. That felt like a tendon, like you were like plucking a string.
But think of like how bound up everything has been, how much overuse you've used your hands, your arms, you know, so that's almost the muscle condition it's gotten used to over time.
Okay.
So that is your normal.
Does what's your opinion on this? I don't know if there's an actual answer. So, does your diet, does that lend to your muscles being more sticky or less flexible?
Absolutely. We fuel our bodies, and if you fuel it with crap, what you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you're putting a lot of stuff in it that it doesn't need, then it's just going to sit there. It's not really going to benefit anything one way or the other.
Obviously.
So, but we're all victims of it, because that's our go-to. That's what we're comfortable with.
Right. And if you haven't, by the way, you said Oreos earlier. So if you haven't yet put Oreos in a big tall glass and then filled the glass up with milk.
Have you ever packed a glass full of Oreos?
I'm a seasoned Oreo lover. You talked.
So you've done this.
I've done this.
Yeah.
Grew up
I
with
did
those.
that to some. I did that, and somebody who had never done that saw me doing it, and they got freaked out.
It's disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
I like just regular Oreos, just straight up double stuffed Oreos, no dipping, nothing. Just I like that. That's my favorite.
You've never lived.
You've never lived.
The best story. The best.
They go in milk.
Well, he used to take a gallon of ice cream, put it in a bowl, take 6 or 7 ding dongs, crumble them into that stirred all together, and cover it with magic shell.
You do. Listen. You go crazy on my stories. I will admit that I took.
You're going to tell me that what I just said is not true.
Yeah, you put a few too many ding dongs in there. But I would this would be my pre.
Four.
It's I did that, but it was 3.
Four
okay?
instead of
Yeah,
6.
it was 3. It was 3 ding dongs.
See, exactly.
It was 3 ding dongs.
Whatever.
But that was when, when you're in your prime, when you're in your early 20s,
you can eat whatever you want.
You can eat whatever you want, and I was in the service, and I would eat that, and then I would go work out, and I felt like you create all these misconceptions, and then you hold them to be true.
We're running on empty. We think that we're giving our body what it needs, but it's not. So we just kind of keep that cycle over and over. And it's like when you don't sleep. It's not because you didn't sleep well, like you aren't getting a good diet, so your body can't metabolize it correctly. So it's just the one thing that leads to the next. With as far as how we feel our body, and then how we sleep, and then our activity level.
I think I think life impacts it a ton too. How's life period for you? I mean, that can regulate how you're thinking about things, whether you're making good choices
Stress,
or not.
Relationships, job. Yeah,
for sure. I'm going back to how my arm doesn't hurt anymore. But so
you are such. With the big CrossFit fingers.
So,
why are you so easily pained?
No, because playing tennis for so many years, I've always had kind of bigger, stronger forearms because of gripping things so much all the time. And I have always kind of had like just aches and pains from that. And I just wonder if, like you said, it's just been conditioned and it's what my body's used to and all that kind of stuff. And so when you were doing that, I was like, this could really help my tennis game. Because I work really hard now as well as that. When I'm not hitting the ball, I'm really relaxing my hands because after a while, my forearms are blown out, totally. Kind of thing.
Definitely. Yeah. But definitely help.
But tennis would be awesome. Oh God. And I think you could help my elbow on this arm too. I'm really excited. Well, I know this is a conditional thing. It's probably not my elbow. It's probably lots of other things that are going on.
Nope, just
but I
your
like
elbow.
the idea. I like the just my elbow.
Yeah, just your elbow.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you're like, well, you think it's your elbow, but it's really your neck and your head and your ass.
When you were doing my forearm, I started talking about that gyro ball. Right. So I was doing that constantly, and I developed this thing where my elbow, the base of my tricep was so sore. So sore I couldn't turn a door handle down and pull it. It hurt so fucking bad. It was like a steak knife.
Because you just overused it?
Because I was driving a truck going, trying to keep that gyro ball going. And I thought, well, this is better than nothing. I'm doing something. But I was like with what you're saying, I was working out my hands so much that radiated up and started affecting up by my elbow. I never would have thought I'm overstimulating my hand or I'm over exhausting my hand.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's important for people to make that connection that the body is connected on so many levels. When you talk about the nerve endings in your stomach are more than the nerve endings in your brain. And then you talk about how it's not just your calves that are bothering you, but it's your hamstrings and your glutes. I mean, it's just kind of amazing that it's all connected.
All connected. There have also been studies that shown that, certain diseases over time are because they are stemming from different emotional things that people suffered from but never dealt with. And so it just kind of manifests in the body and turns into a disease. So even these mental, emotional things, if never dealt with, you keep them in, turns into different diseases over time. So.
Well, and I had a friend whose mom passed away, and she had cancer and a couple other things that happened to her. And I had another friend who was a good friend of the family say, do you think there's anything relatable to the way this woman kind of interacted with the world? Things happened to her when she was younger, and as she got older, she kind of held on to things and never changed and kind of blamed a lot of people. It was always negative, kind of down. And they said, do you think that was part of it? I'm like, I am totally convinced that's an aspect of it.
Huge part of it, definitely.
You hold all those. I mean, I think they probably literally become something physical, right?
Right. I mean, think how bad you feel when you're stressed, and that's just like the being stressed a bit of being just negative in a bad mood all the time. It wears you down and it puts your body physically in a different position, because you're hunched over, you're, holding things in differently. You're not open and happy and welcoming, it's completely different. It has a huge effect.
I think it's an important part for people to try not to hold those things. If something's wrong, you gotta fucking deal with it. Don't hold it in, Gotta fucking deal with it.
Yeah, but some things you don't realize that you have to deal with. Oh,
sure.
Like,
but if you're aware of something,
you're a dad,
right? But if you're aware of something being wrong, then you should probably deal with it. If you know something's in causing you anxiety or causing you issues, then you can step up and deal with it.
Sometimes you get so used to the discomfort that you think that's the norm. Like right now, I'm not holding my belly. I'm not having a strong abdominal wall. Right?
She's sitting here the whole time watching us hunched over with our shoulders forward.
Yeah. I'm slouched. I'm like, I don't feel very comfortable. Oh, I feel a bit better. Everybody gets so used to being uncomfortable. I think somebody coming in to see you and having that uncomfortableness, because you have to go through that transition. You have to deal with that. You just got to grit your teeth and bear it. But know that you're with a professional.
Definitely.
And when you're done, you're not even going to realize how good you feel. Because you haven't been there for so long.
Right. And, I love to do the 24-hour post-treatment check-in. And I do that personally. A lot of things I do, I have that contact with you. So I'll say, hey, how you feeling? How you doing post-treatment? What's the good? What's the bad? I want to know. If something's hurting, let me know. Everybody has a different outcome. I highly recommend someone to rest 24 hours after that treatment, because after what happened in your body, your mind has to catch up to what just happened. Your muscles are physically in a different position. So it's so important that you rest after. I've had people who are like, yeah, I got some great range of motion. I feel great. I'm like, calm it down, because you're going to injure yourself because your body doesn't know how to function in that movement. So at that point,
that seems so weird to think of that.
You almost put yourself at more risk of injury to work out right after that treatment, because you don't know how to move. So I highly recommend that rest period after. I like to check in with you after. Any questions you have, any body ailments or whatever, I'm there for you. So it's definitely a cool process. So
that's so neat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would love to say I highly recommend you, and I do.
Thank you.
But I'm
gonna come in.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You only messed with my forearm for a little bit. I wonder. I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
Is it inappropriate?
No, it's not inappropriate, but it's fuck it. So I have this bump. Like as you get older, I'm like, fuck, what's that bump?
Dude, I have age spots on my hand.
Would you shut up? I'm talking
just telling you.
I'm just talking about this bump, and I've always wondered. I thought, is that like a clumping of muscle? Is it a clumping of fatty tissue? Is it what is that? I have one there. I have one there. I have one there. Is that just something that happens when you get older, or is it something that would change after a really intense session?
It could be a number of different things.
Or have you ever have you ever noticed that when you've given somebody one of your
body work?
Yeah.
It could be a number of different things. It could be fatty deposits. It could just be you have an over
Here,
excess.
feel this right here. Put your hand right there. Do you feel that? No, she's like, fuck no.
It could, sometimes there's
You can see it.
an over excess of unnecessary
Oh yeah. Now
Interesting.
she's got this concerned look on her face, like, oh fuck, I don't know if I want you to come in or not.
You can still come in. I would definitely get that checked out. If you're noticing those pop up all over, I would refer you to another professional that is out of my league of practice.
I don't know about that stuff.
That legion is probably not okay.
It's not like it's open source, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
It's just one of those little bumps you get.
Sometimes your body
I'm older.
Just deposits stuff it doesn't need, and it just kind of goes to a certain spot. So sometimes that's what it is.
All right. Todd,
Yeah,
if you don't want to talk about any current events, we don't have to.
we don't. This is much more interesting.
I really
than the current
dug.
events.
I was
was
thinking
really
about
cool.
this.
Thank you.
But I was expecting I was expecting a masseuse. That's what I was
I'm
expecting
appalled.
to
I'm
come in
appalled.
here.
I was thinking more of a deep. I was looking forward to talking about more of how it's different from like deep tissue massage.
Thank you.
That's what I was thinking about. I was correlating this more with the deep tissue, because when Andy talks about, you don't know how good you feel when you're done with this, and Jared talked about that too, of like, oh my god, all of a sudden I feel like I'm even more flexible than I was before, and Jared's pretty flexible, dude.
Well,
So-
I had nothing to base what you do off of. Like you said, it's like taking the blinders off when that guy told you or taught you how to do what
Right,
you're doing
and
now.
we're it's still so brand new with him being the only one in Arizona, doing this work, and now I'm here in Cedar Rapids, so it's still in the very baby brand new stages, so there's really not much to do research on. It's not a cookie cutter thing that can be duplicated. It's very one-on-one. Even with Bill, as he teaches, he's like, I want to teach someone one-on-one. And when I met with him, he had met with 29 other people, wanting to teach it. And he's like, I can tell you're the real deal. Like, you really want to do this and meant for this. So, it's not something that you're going to easily find when you look it up. It's very unique in and of itself, so.
Well, I definitely want to learn more about this, and I want to come
Definitely.
see you.
Definitely.
And if people want to schedule something with you or want to check you out, one of the easiest ways is to go to Facebook and type in Lisa Gillespie, Flexibility Coach. How else would people get a hold of you?
I do believe my phone number is listed on there, as well as my email. I'm connected to both. So shoot me a message, phone call, email. They all reach me. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have anything special coming up? Are you planning anything special for like, what's the big bike race that goes? Ragbri. Any of those big events? Any of the triathlons and things like that? Are you planning on?
Nothing yet. It's just I've kind of settled in. I've had a few traveling weekends, so kind of looking ahead to the summer. And I know I like to do something with the Colonels, maybe set something up with them in their off season. Anything local, kind of get my hands on with people who are going to be pretty active during the summer. So it's just kind of open book right now.
Great.
I keep thinking
Cool.
Ragbri would be tough because you'd have people coming in from biking, and if you're going to do this for them,
And that
you want them
it's
to
really
take it easy
intense.
because I
Right.
know the
Right.
first time I did Ragbri and I did a day, and the next morning to sit on that seat, I thought I didn't know if I'd be able to sit that day because my butt was so sore from one day of riding. That it took me a while to get my ass literally so it didn't
Literally.
hurt anymore. So I want to imagine if you're like, oh, hey, I want to get one, get some therapy. Well, you need 24 hours to kind of take it easy. So
Yeah.
Ragbri might be.
Well, we definitely want to have you back on before the Midwest competition.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Very cool.
To see how your training has
So
gone.
Hopefully I won't be too depleted at that point, depending on when you get me in.
And
Yeah,
when is it
well,
actually
we don't
happening?
want you to be in like 1 or 2 days.
No, that'd be silly.
I'll get you some alcohol, and you can really.
So,
do the-
how's your diet going?
How about those Oreos?
Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah, it's October 24th is that competition. So I'm about 21 weeks out.
I want to put that on our calendar. October 24th. I'm
October
putting on
24th.
the Primal Stream
And I
calendar.
do believe Andy, we know him as Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about doing that one as well. So
Doing it again.
He is.
doing it again. I think so.
Well, he's probably not going to be so goofy this time because he thinks
he
thinks that he
goofier.
I really don't see him toning it down.
I think that's why he thinks that's why he kind of lost it. So I thought, oh, maybe he's going to just do because everybody else is so nervous, and he came out there like himself, which is totally fine. Which I thought was great. Everybody thought it was great.
He amped it up on purpose.
Yeah,
which was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Awesome. Were you there?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. And I don't think I met you at Jared's last fight at the Fight Season Center.
I was there.
I think you walked.
Oh, you were there.
I think I got like a butt bump
from Jared.
From you as you walked down the aisle to go down to the floor by the fight.
I would just say something to Chloe.
Oh, that might be it.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure it was you because I think Andy was the one who said, "Hey, that's the gal who does the therapy stuff." Because I was sitting with Andy and
Andy pointed her out.
Andy pointed her out. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna wrap things up. So check out Lisa Gillespie on Facebook. She has all her contact information there. And again, it's not a massage. It's not a masseuse.
Yeah, stop
it's
saying
not
that.
something like I'm trying to separate it. People
separate it.
Yeah, it's not that. It's something better. It's something that's gonna make you feel like you haven't felt in a long time because shit just gets clogged up, right? Muscles and everything else.
Right.
All right.
I'm intrigued. For sure.
Are you really going to do it? You're going to puss out?
No, I'll really do it.
I saw a little baby tear when she grabbed your arm. Even before she put any pressure, you were just like, "Oh my god!"
I was a little apprehensive.
I knew
because
it.
I'm a wuss. I'm not good with pain. I've been injured twice in my life. I had a high ankle sprain in 2001,
which really wasn't a sprain, probably.
Yeah, it was a serious fucking sprain, you asshole. And the second one,
it turned out I just tripped on my shoelaces. It was so horrendous.
And then I tore my hamstring 8 months ago, something like that. But those are the only, and those, because I have never been injured in any sporting activities of all the years, I know I'm kind of a baby because I've never had really bad pain.
Well, let's just say everyone has a different level of tolerance on the table. Some people it's super intense. For other people, they're like, "Oh, that feels pretty good."
So when you're doing this, are you constantly saying, "Is this all right?" Or do you just fucking do your thing?
I do my thing. So, yeah.
Can I get a safe word? I can get a safe word. That's what I need.
A safe word?
I need a safe word.
I'll give you a safe word.
Well, just keep in mind, I've, been doing body work for nearly 5 years. So I've seen it all.
Right.
So even if you're like holding your breath, like, I'm fine, I can read that.
Read the body language.
Read the body language.
Tense.
So there's nothing you can hide from me.
You are a professional.
So.
You want a safe word? I'll give you one.
What's that?
Sauce hockey. Go to saucehockey.com.
Another fantastic.
If you want amazing hockey apparel, go to saucehockey.com. We're going to let Lisa go. We got to do our sponsors here at the end. So, yeah, Sauce Hockey is amazing. If you want hats or shirts or board shorts, you want a little biz nasty, you want something that's just kind of fun. I throw sauce. That shirt, actually, I'm going to purchase.
The sauce shirt you have on is one of my favorites, which is why that's actually my shirt. So.
It is actually his shirt.
Oh.
Yeah, we spend too much time together.
You guys are cute.
The decks.
Oh shit!
The
You
decks
just said
and
we're
dangles.
cute together.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
bad. That's not a good compliment. That's not a good compliment. Where's the I throw sauce? There's a shirt that says I throw sauce. Now, sauce, for everybody who doesn't know this, sauce is what hockey players call that pass when they pass the puck. The puck goes off the ice, hovers perfectly parallel with the ice, and then softly lands without blah 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 blah. Right? Softly lands perfectly right to whoever you were passing it to. That's
a perfect pass.
You put sauce on it. Nice, right?
He's wearing shirts all the time that we don't know what they mean.
Right here, I throw sauce.
Oh, that's
and I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy it.
That's a kid's.
Okay, well, that's a kid's shirt, but I like my shirts tight.
That's right.
I like my shirts tight.
Shirt tight.
Show it off.
And I'm going to be able to wear tighter shirts because I'm going to start eating more Sweet Raw Joy because it's healthy for you. And I can lose some weight, maybe. Maybe I need to cut back on the beer.
Hey, Lori did say if you got to start eating raw, you start with dessert. It's the best way to start.
You do start with desserts
There
if you're
you
going to
go.
start eating raw. So go with Sweet Raw Joy. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. Order your desserts to live for. They're where are they at right now? Are they in
She is exclusively in the New Pioneer Co-op.
the new Pioneer?
Awesome.
She's got her own space in there.
Right.
Good for her.
And she'll be having a grand opening on June.
In a couple months, we're actually going to have
Shit.
sound effects and somebody producing so that when he makes these stupid comments.
No, why is it a stupid comment?
Because
June 13th.
Okay, June 13th. It wouldn't have been stupid if you would have had your stuff ready to go.
You're right. I'm sorry.
June 13th is the
I'll
big.
do a much better job
is your
next
big
time.
thing.
But you know what? He didn't have the 3D home tour set up in time.
That's right. That's correct.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that.
Maybe Lisa won't be coming back in October. Anyway.
You've been banned. If you don't treat Matt right, he takes his ball and he goes home.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
That's right.
You know who else takes their balls and goes home?
Oh, God. Do they get powdered first?
No. You know what, though? That would be an awesome comedy sketch. And if you want to hear more comedy sketches, go to USAEntertainmentAgency.com, or you can go to Penguins Comedy Club and
awesome
see.
Transition.
Thank you.
That's good.
Awesome transition.
You can find out who's performing for the weekend down at Penguins if you go to penguinscomedyclub.com. Right?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Or go to USA Entertainment Agency and book your entertainer today. And if you want to check out the Revolution Realty team, we really had to find a better way to our sponsors. We gotta
Condense it?
have a
Make it more crunchy? I don't know.
crunchy. I don't know. It's an emotional thing that I'm doing with my hands.
Visceral.
Visceral.
Okay.
But anyway, if you want to sell your house and you want to have it be by a cool fucking dude and you don't 7% and 5% might not seem like a lot.
$100,000 home.
But when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars,
7,000 is different than 5,000.
that 2% can make a big deal. So if that
Amen,
means a big
brother.
deal to you, go with revolutionrealityteam.com. And last but not least, Cards Against Humanity. Go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. Order your pack today. You can get it for $25 or download it for free, but don't do that because you buy a pack and then they also will send money to a local charity. And then that charity will contact you and say, thank you so much. You're such a sweet guy for donating to our charity. And I don't even fucking know them, but I donated to them through Cards Against Humanity. So a horrible game for horrible people.
For a great cause.
For a great cause, yeah. And you laugh. Like, I honestly, this is my most enjoyable game to play. I've love
never-
It's a game for adults. A good game for adults.
Great
I've
game.
never laughed
Yeah.
harder in my entire life, ever, than
Yeah.
at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So check out cardsagainsthumanity.com. And Todd,
Yeah. What do you need?
I want everyone right now to place yourselves in a bubble. And then I want you to throw that bubble in the air and fucking hit it with the tennis racket. Todd,
Yeah.
I just wanted to put you off your game for a
I
second.
guess so.
I wanted to create a visual so that you were unnerved, so that you would have to come up with something completely new. How would people follow us?
I think the best way, and what I've been told, is if you go to YouTube and you type in the Primal Scream podcast. Don't type in the Primal Scream because it's a great band that you can listen to them too.
That's
The Primal Scream podcast on YouTube is how a lot of people listen to our podcast. But if you don't want to do YouTube, you can go to Stitcher and iTunes. If you're on Stitcher and iTunes, make sure you subscribe to us and also throw us a review or two. Give us some stars.
Seriously.
Give us some
Look at all those
comments.
videos.
Do something.
That's a lot of
Wow,
videos,
that is
right?
A lot of videos.
You are
You and-
number 89. She's 89.
No, she's 80. She's 88.
Oh, okay. I was close.
She's 88.
Anyway, so Stitcher and iTunes, please subscribe, review us, let us know what you think. You can follow us at Twitter at Matt and Todd. That's a good one too. Facebook, the Primal Scream Podcast, or TPSP Productions, which is Matt's production company. And also, while you're on there, go to tpspproductions.com. If you scroll down to the Primal Scream, you'll see all these awesome little buttons.
Oh,
The top one is really great because it's a donate button.
That's
And
kind of a
anything that
selfish
you-
one right there.
Anything that you donate, whatever we pay for overhead for our business to be run, we'll
Yeah.
pay for it, and then everything else we'll donate to a local charity. So we're not doing this for money.
know,
We do it because we
don't-
love it.
Right. Don't take our word for it, but kind of take our word for it because you really can't do anything
Yeah.
else. Listen, all we're doing with the donation money is paying for the overhead costs.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Todd and I have extra jobs. We have other jobs that pay the bills, but the donation money would help pay for the overhead cost of this, and then whatever else we pull in, local charity.
We'll give away. Yeah.
Yeah, help somebody else out, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what grassroots is all about, baby.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk about your production company?
I don't know.
I think
Should I?
Rock and Rob do a pretty good job of that.
Rock and Rob does a great job on the bandwagon. If you want to check out the bandwagon, just keep going down the TPSP Productions page, scroll down, and there it is. Bragging rights 24/7. In fact, they have episode 18 coming out,
Good
which
for
by the
them.
time this
tomorrow.
comes out, it'll be out tomorrow, which if you're listening to this,
it was last Friday.
Last Friday.
There you go.
So it comes out every other Friday.
And it really is a wonderful podcast.
It's a wonderful podcast. It's very funny, and it puts a spin on athletics and sports that I think people have thought about, joining. Oh, they've gotten on the bandwagon. But it's really about enjoying or making a celebration of every single game. Like
They're never disappointed. They're never sad.
My dad was so angry when the Hawkeyes didn't win. And little Matt, his little weekend would be fucking ruined because
The Hawks didn't win.
Matt's dad, his team didn't win. And that sucks for little Matt. So every game is a celebration for the bandwagon. And then they put some really great arguments together for who should be the Mount Rushmore of baseball or the Mount Rushmore of basketball or the GOAT.
The GOAT. The GOAT's the best.
So you have heard. Yes,
and
you have.
Andy did help us kind of nudge Lisa a little bit too. I was like,
great.
talk to Andy.
It's all word
We're
of
not
mouth,
a bunch of creeps.
isn't it?
We're
It's
not
word
a
of
bunch
mouth.
of creeps in the
Word
basement.
mouth.
Sort of, we are
Right.
creeps in the basement, but we're normal.
You're a creep in a basement.
You're a creep in a
I'm
It's your
fine.
basement.
I got this
It's your
contact.
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Sent me a message.
Hi, I'm on Facebook. Do you want to come on my podcast?
Will you please friend me?
You can rub my body later if you
Oh,
want
my
to.
Dude, yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
It was fine up until you said you could grab my body if you want
I said
to.
rub my body.
Oh,
not
well,
grab
yeah,
my
that's
body.
better. That's better.
That's
Rub my
so
body if you.
much
There's
better.
so
There's
much
no
better.
much. There's no powder.
And if you want to check out who sponsors TPSP Productions, go to the sponsors button, and then you put your little cursor over there, and everything pops up. But I have some exciting news.
Yeah, please do it.
In the way that Rocky and Rob would say, championship headquarters is moving.
Yes.
We're moving from the current location to a more,
I am very excited.
respectable
I'm very excited
location.
for you guys. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to
Thank you very
seeing what
much.
you guys do.
It's gonna be a lot of work. We got to get things set up yet. We got to go through the final stages of working out all the bugs, but hopefully it'll be something where local businesses, people can come in, shoot a video over their lunch hour, do some green screening, do some stuff like that, take off, and we can do special.
And we can do our
effects.
podcast there too, right?
And people can do their podcasts there. It'll be right above Nubo Ale House on the second floor.
Awesome.
And so just look for TPSP Productions on the door there by the sushi.
Oh, the sushi.
The sushi house. Right?
Right. Yeah.
It's right next to that door. So just look for TPSP Productions.
Cool.
It's on the second floor. And that's it, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode.
Lisa, you're a
Thank
joy.
you for having me. It's been a joy. This is exciting.
It was cool.
It wasn't bad.
No.
You got a great laugh too.
Family.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
and
laughed at half the
I
things
got
you
to watch you do this for a while.
Do you do that on purpose with the middle finger, or that just works easy?
It just works easy.
It's a great
It's
icebreaker.
a good
I like
visual.
it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Well, that's it for us at the Primal Screen Podcast. I'm Matt.
I am.
And that's Lisa. We'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.
Is your life savings wrapped up in your 403b? Are you worried you're paying too much in fees? Ask for Matt. Matt Westbury of Premier Investments can help with your 403b planning. Matt's a local guy who will sit down and talk with you about what you want from your retirement and give you simple answers you won't find on a confusing 403b website or at an 800 number. Go to askformatt.com. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated. Member FINRA, SIPC.